Welcome to Coors Light Fox College Football.
Our full day of Fox College football culminates tonight here at the historic Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. The fourth-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, led by Heisman Trophy candidate Landry Jones and head coach Bob Stoops. Their quest to the summit begins right now on Fox College Football.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, go!
Welcome to the Sun Bowl here in El Paso, Texas for Fox College Football. Today, the fourth-ranked Oklahoma Sooners for the Big 12 take on the UTEP Miners. Good evening and welcome. Mike Morgan with you here from the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Week number 1 of the college football season here on Fox College Football. The Oklahoma Sooners getting ready to make a national championship run. Last year, this squad struggled on the road. This season, they'll try to see if they can pick it up on the road. But, JC, one way or another, it all starts with the signal caller, the Heisman hopeful, Landry Jones.
And he's okay with that. He got a first-round NFL draft projection last year. He chose to come back for his senior season for what he called unfinished business, and that's to win a national championship. He's worked on his throwing motion. He's worked on his footwork. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. Step 1 on that road starts tonight.
And no shortage of confidence on the other side with Nick Lamison of UTEP. He's been talking a lot the last couple of weeks. Tonight, we'll find out if actions speak louder than words.
Well, he's a confident young man, and he should be. He's the preseason All-Conference USA quarterback. He says he wants to be the best quarterback on the field tonight. And he should feel that way because that shows how competitive he is. But now he's got to go out and prove it.
The Oklahoma Sooners, the only team for the Big 12, starting things on the road. We'll see if they can make a statement tonight. Opening kickoff is coming up next. Fox College Football is presented by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Back with you here at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, as we're a couple minutes away from the opening kickoff. Pleased to be joined by the third member of our broadcasting team as we send it down to the field with Laura McKeemum. Laura?
Coach Landry Jones returns with plenty of expectations. How important is the statement he makes tonight?
Well, I think more than Landry, it's the guys around him. Are they going to step up and make plays? That position always needs supported. So hopefully those guys catch his balls, can get open, and we can run the ball some too.
You mentioned this talented group of receivers. How important will Justin Brown be as well, the Penn State transfer?
Well, Justin's a wonderful young man, and he's just been incredible for us. He's a great talent, special young guy. So we're hoping he really has a special night.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Mike, there you have it. Bob Stoops rushing to the Oklahoma sideline to get this one started.
All right, thank you very much, Laura. And obviously, he is geared up as well as that man, Mike Price. He talked all week long, really all month long, about the importance of this game for his program, the national exposure, a chance to make history, pull off a possible upset against one of the top teams in America. And for that matter, just a chance to play a powerhouse, JC, is obviously a big move for this program.
Oh, no question. It's huge for this city, this university, these players, the coaches, and they understand how big this game is. And his main concern, especially early in this game, is that his guys aren't too hyped up to play and try to do too much.
Well, they call it the Sun Bowl for a reason. Even when the sun goes down, it's still hot here. 88 degrees, humidity at about 15%. Not too much wind, about 7 miles per hour. Otherwise, great conditions here for week number 1 of college football. We know you're excited, as are we. As we look at the series history, Oklahoma leading at all time, 2-0 the last meeting coming back in 2002. It was a lopsided win for the Sooners.
And Mike, the first thing you'll notice here is a rule change this year. The kickoffs are now from the 35-yard line. And if they kick it in the end zone and it's a touchback, the ball comes out to the 25 instead of the 20.
A major rule change to start off 2012. It goes back to the end zone, and the Miners will take it out. Straight up the gut, past the 15, and wrestled down at about the 18-yard line. That's Nathan Jeffrey on the return. We'll see a lot of him in the backfield as well. Nathan Jeffrey, our Academy Sports and Outdoors player to look at, 136 touchdowns in high school. That is third all time in the state of Texas.
And they really like this young man. They think by the end of this season, everyone in the country will know the name Nathan Jeffrey. He gets his chance this year. He was down the depth chart last year, but they're going to give him a lot of touches tonight.
And there is touch number 1 in the big hole on the left side. He gallops at the 30 and dives down at the 35-yard line. A 14-yard pickup.
That's a great way to start for UTEP because they have to be balanced. They have to start with their running game. That's what they've gone to the last couple of years, to be more of a running football team offensively, and then work the play-action passes off of it.
Mike Price was very confident in his offensive line to open up some holes for number 25. On first down, it's Jeffrey again, weaving through tacklers and gobbles up about 8 yards. Tony Jefferson on the stop for Oklahoma.
And that's some of the things that they told us about Nathan Jeffrey. He's got great vision and great footwork. It's one thing to be able to run that zone read and see a hole backside, but not a lot of players have the feet and the footwork, the body control to be able to get all the way backside to that hole.
Nick Lamison is the quarterback. We talked about him in the open. Very confident signal caller for the Miners. Back to the ground for the 3rd straight time. And that should be good for a first down. 3 more yards. JC, are you surprised the push they're getting on the line?
Yeah, I am so far, but remember what Mike Price told us. He said this is the best offense that he's had. He really likes this offense. They have 4 returning veteran offensive linemen. They have a veteran quarterback. They've got 2 explosive wide receivers, and then Nathan Jeffrey running the ball. So he really felt like that this offense could have success.
Dowell now in the game, giving Jeffrey a breather in the backfield. Lamison looks to throw. Incomplete. He short hop the intended target. That's number 9, Jordan Leslie. Nick Lamison, a guy who was very highly decorated in junior college, won 2 national titles. Initially signed with Lane Kiffin at Tennessee. Remember when Lane was the Tennessee coach for all but a season? Wound up transferring to UTEP. He seems happy here, and the Miners are happy to have him.
They are, and he's a very confident young man, like we talked about in the open. He's really worked on his throwing motion. The thing that he wants to do tonight, he said he's going to take some shots down the field. He just doesn't want to force balls into coverage.
On play action, rolls out and completes the pass for a first down at the 41-yard line. Lamison hits Kevin Perry, the junior out of Louisiana, for 13.
Doing a great job, and this time Lamison, watch him on the move. They fake the read inside, gets him outside the pocket, and now he hits the drag route coming across the middle. They're doing a good job right now just keeping Oklahoma defensively off balance, and they really didn't know what to expect from this defense, this new Mike Stoops defense this year. They said they were just going to come out and try some things and see what works and then build from there.
On first down, back to the ground, and another big hole up the middle. Slashing his way straight up the gut, Nathan Jeffrey for 13. Tony Jefferson finally trips him up.
This Oklahoma defense, watch him get pushed at the point of attack, and look at Nathan Jeffrey doesn't need a big hole to get through there, but this offensive line doing a great job of getting a hat on a hat. You see that inside zone read, and what that means is they just get a man on a man and let Nathan Jeffrey pick and choose which hole he wants to run through.
Lamison out of the gun on first down. Going deep downfield, deflected and incomplete. A couple of Sooner defenders in the area, including number 6, Devontre Hurst. That's exactly what Lamison told us he didn't want to do. Forced the ball into double coverage. The ball came out late. That allowed Devontre Hurst to come under the receiver and make a play, and Tony Jefferson almost picks off the bounce. Hurst was all Big 12 last season for a reason. A very good guy in the secondary. They might have one of their best secondaries in years. And a timeout called by Oklahoma. 12:26 remaining, no score. UTEP on the move. Nathan Jeffries, 4 carries, 40 yards already.
A lot of it is because of his vision. I talked about it earlier. Look at the cut backside. That time, the hole was right there, just burst through. But watch right here. Great job of vision coming to the backside, and then the footwork. And again, right here, that inside zone read. He has the great vision to find the hole backside, makes one quick cut. He's got great footwork and explodes down the field. Nathan Jeffrey, they told us that this was a special young man. Last year, he was fourth because they had 3 very good running backs here. Only carried the ball 26 times, but you can see right now why they want him to have it at least 25 times tonight.
Meanwhile, the Miners getting ready for the 8th play of this drive. On second down, Jeffrey again keeps those legs churning, carries an Oklahoma defender. That's Ndule, 5 yards.
Oklahoma defensively that time brought a lot of guys to the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to take the run away now. That means that they've got to play more man coverage on the outside. Here's Mike Stoops, first game back. First drive has been tough against the run. You know, their main focus was not to give up the big play over the top, but they've been too soft against the run this first drive.
On third and short, Lamison is sacked. Lamison can't get out of the way. There's the big man, David King, the senior out of Houston, Texas.
David King is a guy that moves down inside to the tackle position. Watch him, number 90. Great swim move right there. Just beats the center, Eloy Atkinson. And whenever you can get quick pressure like that right in the middle in the face of the quarterback, it just completely disrupts the entire play and comes up with the sack.
Dakota Warren on to attempt a 45-yard field goal. His career long is 57.
He was kicking them from 44 in pregame very easily.
Kick on the way, has the distance, but wide left. So the drive stalls and the Miners unable to put any points on the board. When we come back, our first look at Heisman hopeful Landry Jones and the Oklahoma offense. .06 remaining in the first quarter of play here from El Paso. Scoreless game as Oklahoma takes the field on offense for the first time. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff player for the Sooners, Kenny Stills.
And Kenny Stills, I'm predicting right now, is going to have a huge season for Oklahoma. He steps into that Ryan Broyles position, playing in the slot. He's got a great rapport with Landry Jones, feels real comfortable in there. A bigger body that can work the middle of the field. Had 61 catches last year. He'll have a lot more this year.
Jones hands it off to Whaley. Dominic Whaley, give him 4, maybe 5, as you see the career numbers on Landry Jones. 93 career touchdown passes. He does want to cut down on the interceptions this year.
Yeah, and all quarterbacks want to do that. He's really worked on his throwing motion, went out to California with the personal coach, worked on keeping the ball higher, worked on moving in the pocket, and Bob Stoops says he sees a noticeable difference.
On second and 6, a rollout pass to Millard, and that is one of the most versatile players you'll see in college football. Trey Millard, he's the fullback, he's the tight end, he's the H-back, he does a little bit of everything.
And he's the leading tackler on special teams. Very valuable guy because he allows them to play in this personnel and be versatile.
After 10 yards, a first down run. It's Dominic Whaley again, the senior.
You can see the tempo that Oklahoma's coming out at. You know, they like to go super fast, super fast. They were going to vary that a little bit tonight. They're not right now as fast as they normally are because I think they've got some new pieces. They've got some new guys at the wide receiver positions. Got to get all those guys acclimated first before you can go at that super fast tempo.
On second down, swings it out left side, and Whaley is buried the moment he caught it. Alexius on the stop.
That's what UTEP's got to do. When we talked to their defensive coordinator, Andre Patterson, he said, we're an aggressive defense, and we've got to stay aggressive, and he has to remind himself to stay aggressive and not get passive because they're playing Oklahoma. But to get after Landry Jones, get hits on him, attack, try to get a lot of tackles for losses, and now they've got a 3rd and long situation.
On 3rd and 11. Miners rush 4. Jones fires. Incomplete. Tried to thread the needle, couldn't do it.
Yeah, and UTEP just drops into zone coverage, trying to get Kenny Stills running across the middle of the field, but they do a good job. Deshaun Grayson, number 2, identifies that crossing route, drives to the reception point, and breaks it up.
The Miners have 4 seniors in the secondary, something to look out for tonight. Tress Way, one of the top punters in the Big 12. And the punt is blocked and picked up by the Miners. Touchdown by Jeffrey. Who else? "24-yard return."
And they said that they were going to be aggressive in all phases, especially special teams. The first punt out, they come with the all-out rush. A great block by Richard Spencer, number 24. That allows Nathan Jeffrey to just pick it up and run in. They knew that they had to make some big plays in order to be in this ball game. And right now, UTEP playing well in all phases.
Warren on for the extra point. And the Miners strike first with 9:01 to play in the first quarter. You've seen him on offense, Nathan Jeffrey. And now you see him on special teams, the scoop and the score for the Miners. Well, how about this for a start after an impressive opening drive on offense that stalled with a missed field goal, a special teams touchdown. JC, what happens here on the block?
Well, watch right there, Richard Spencer. They come with an all-out block, and OU blows the blocking scheme. Great job by Richard Spencer. No one touches him. Lays out at the block point. Doesn't touch the kicker. Does a great job. Nathan Jeffrey picks it up, scoops and scores. But they were going to be very aggressive. They come with the all-out blitz the first time that OU punts, and they come up with a huge play.
Well, what did Mike Price tell us, JC, yesterday at the meetings? We've got to make big plays. We are a big play team. They've got a couple already.
Well, they know that they can't just line up and go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma. So they have to make some big plays, whether it's offensively, breaking some tackles, making a long pass down the field, or in special teams. And he said in special teams, we've got a lot of things dialed up. If we get the right look, we're not afraid to use anything at any time tonight.
Now Oklahoma will try to return the favor. Roy Finch and Brennan Clay back for the kick from Stephen Valadez. Now, this crowd was alive from the start. It's got an extra boost of adrenaline right now. And it's booted all the way into the end zone. Time now for a Mazda game break. Let's check in with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen.
Mike will be here all night long, and let's quickly update you on what's going on with USC hosting Hawaii at the Coliseum. And Matt Barkley's been fabulous, Marcus.
Looking great, but a total team effort. Offense, defense, special teams, outstanding for USC so far.
49-10 in the fourth quarter. Let's head back to Mike and JC.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Look forward to getting the updates from you all night long. UTEP, it's only 6 minutes into the game, but I think a lot of people surprised to see the score, 7-0. Oklahoma back out for the second drive on offense. Swings it out left side, caught at the 20 and buried at the 24-yard line is Dominique Whaley. Pickup of about a yard. Josh Feely with a huge hit.
I'll tell you what, UTEP right now, you know, they're so intense and excited. They've circled this game against Oklahoma. It helped them through their spring practice, helped them through summer. This was a huge game for them. They've been circling this game for a long time, and you can see they're ready to play tonight.
On second down, Jones again flares it out. Whaley picks up 6. It'll be third down as we check in on the sideline with Laura McKeemum.
Thank you, Mike. And yes, after that special teams touchdown from UTEP, Tim Kish, the linebackers coach for Oklahoma, pulled his guys aside and said, hey, we can't let up in any phase of play. We have to play hard the entire time. Also, we've seen a lot from Mike Stoops down here preaching execution on his defense, which is something he said for this entire offseason, Mike.
Thank you, Laura. The crowd gets even louder on 3rd and 5. Jones cocks and fires, almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Deshaun Grayson, the safety.
UTEP right now defensively playing very well up front. They're moving, they're stunning, they're using their quickness up front and then bringing pressure off of the edges. And then in the back end, those guys are really clamping on outside in man-to-man coverage. And that's what Andre Patterson said this defense does best. They attack, they play a lot of man-to-man coverage. They'll mix in some zones, but he's got to make sure that he allows those guys, turns them loose the entire game. Playing well so far.
Tressway, the punter, back onto the field. Again, heavy pressure by the Miners. Fair catch called for at the 20 by Michael Edwards. High emotions here at the Sun Bowl. The Miners up 7. They'll have the football when we return. Tomorrow on FSN, it's a college football special as the SMU Mustangs head to Waco to take on the Baylor Bears in a showdown with in-state bragging rights on the line. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific, right here on FSN. Well, when you look at the Conference USA newcomers, right there at the top of the list is Garrett Gilbert, the former Texas Longhorn, now leading the way for that June Jones offense. Look for him to put up some big-time numbers. Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy. And then how about Baylor? First game post-RG3. But they're looking to make a statement. They say that, hey, they're much better than just RG3. They've got a lot of talent down there at Baylor. They got a great transfer of their own in Lake Seastrunk, former Oregon Duck, very talented running back. Bob Stoops, not breaking a sweat yet, but certainly concerned about his team's play in the first half of this opening quarter. 7-0. UTEP had an impressive opening drive, did not put any points on the board. A special teams touchdown, the only scoring thus far. Anderson looks to throw as they set up the screen. And Oklahoma strings it out well. Loss on the play. Jeffrey had nowhere to run. David King, one of the big men on the stop, a loss of 2. Yeah, tough to run screens against this Oklahoma defense because they're so fast, they're so athletic, and they react quickly. So tough to run screens against those guys unless you catch them in a blitz situation. That time they were playing zone coverage, so everybody sees the ball thrown, and you see the reaction. Three wide on 2nd and 12. Movement on the line, penalty flags, could be a free play. Deep ball on the way and incomplete. Intended for Jordan Leslie. And you know what? Even though that was a free play, here comes the call.
Offside. Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Even though that's a free play, those are the plays that they talked about they've got to make. Look where this ball is. Perfectly thrown. Jordan Leslie, he's got to make that play. Those were the kind of plays that Mike Price and Aaron Price talked to us about. We've got to take some shots down the field. Somebody's got to make a play for us, and that's exactly what they were talking about. Lamison has been on target early on in this game. On 2nd and 7. That's Dowell, the number 2 back. And a loss on the play of a couple. That's Tom Ward, one of the top linebackers in the Big 12. They think he can have an absolute monster season now in his junior campaign. Well, the one thing that Mike Stoops did when he came in is he adjusted some personnel. The first thing that he realized, though, is that last year, the Sooners defense tried to do too much. They were too complex and they weren't real good at anything. He's wanting to simplify it and letting those guys go play. Out of the gun on 3rd and 8. Lamison under hot pursuit and has to throw it low. He did a good job just to get that ball off before being sacked. Intended for Michael Edwards, his top target. And I'll tell you, David King, number 9, he's been very disruptive on pass downs for Oklahoma. He was a defensive end last year, so he's got a lot of speed and quickness. Moves down inside to the D tackle position now because of some depth issues, but he's always a threat to rush inside.
Now the Miners going to punt it away. Justin Brown, the transfer from Penn State, back to receive, but it's going to be unreceivable as it sails out of bounds. Well, we've seen the Oklahoma defense now led by that man Mike Stoops, who is back in Norman. And JC, this is a guy, when he was with the Oklahoma Sooners the first go round, did an outstanding job.
He sure did, and you can see the numbers right there, and the biggest numbers is points per game. That's the one that really matters. When he was here, they were only giving up 15.5 points a game, and then without him, it jumped up to 20 points a game. He's come back. He said he's always, even when he was the head coach at Arizona, really stayed on the defensive side, followed offensive trends and everything. So he feels like he's in a good spot to understand how teams want to attack.
Sooners trying to get something going on offense. To the ground. Goes nowhere. Stacked up and dropped for a loss is Damian Williams, the JUCO transfer from San Diego.
Right now, defensively, what UTEP is doing up front, just like they told us they were going to do, is they want to use their speed and quickness. They're not real big up front. They've got two defensive ends that are really linebacker size, but they run 4-4, 4-5. They feel like they've got an advantage over these big Oklahoma offensive linemen.
This is only the 8th play of the game for the Oklahoma offense. Jones at the last possible second fires incomplete through the hands of Miller. Well, just 8 plays thus far in this game, and when you look at what Oklahoma does offensively, last year 3rd in the country, 1,052 plays.
Well, they're not running at that super fast tempo right now like we talked about earlier. They've got some new pieces in there, so they've got to make sure their guys can understand what to do mentally. So they're a little slower right now than they'd like to be.
On 3rd and 11. Jones, as all day, fires opposite side of the field, has a man at the 35. Down the sideline, one man to beat. Touchdown, Kenny Stills. "68 yards.
And there you see some of the things that Landry Jones told us he worked on this offseason. First of all, he got great protection, but he moved his feet, he slid in the pocket, went through his progressions, and came all the way back to the other side of the field where Kenny Stills was one-on-one and puts the ball on the money. But Landry Jones, a great job of not panicking and just throwing that ball away.
For Landry Jones, career touchdown pass number 94. Honeycutt, outstanding a year ago. Punches it through, and we're tied. Just a 3-play drive, and it was all about the big pass play. Jones to Stills.
Yeah, you see Stills in the slot there, number 4. He just runs an out and up, being covered there by Wesley Miller. But watch when the ball's in the air. Wesley Miller comes forward, and Kenny Stills is continuing to run down the field, takes a bad angle on the ball, and Kenny Stills able to come up. But look at Landry Jones. Slides all the way to his left, goes through his progression reads, and then throws a great ball. That takes a major league arm to be able to do that. Throws the ball to the opposite sideline right on the money. But Wesley Miller, just bad play on the ball in the air.
JC, as a former defensive back, how hard is it to stay disciplined on a play like that?
Well, he's actually in pretty good position, but he's got to continue to run down the field. He wasn't in bad position. He just played the ball in the air terribly.
Mike Price talking to his defense about that last play. The first big play really Oklahoma has had on the offensive side of the ball.
But they understand too, with the type of defense that they play, they're going to be that aggressive. It's high risk. and that time they got beaten. But like Andre Patterson said, you know, they're going to make some plays. We're going to make some plays. Just be who we are and let the chips fall where they may.
That's what Oklahoma can do. A touchdown in 44 seconds, just a 3-play drive. They've got high hopes for that young man. O'Hara on the kickoff. And it will be returned by Edwards. And Edwards pushes forward to the 24-yard line. Time for a Mazda game break. Let's check in with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen.
Oregon hosting Arkansas State, and redshirt freshman Marcus Mariota running the offense now. And you know what? The offense just as lethal, just as fast, and the uniforms just as loud. Oregon up 22-zip. Mike, JC, the uniforms, wow.
Hey, the kids love them, though. It's really helped them to get those players up there. I mean, some of them look off the wall, but man, can't be mad at them for trying.
One of the few schools where you hear the uniforms are a great recruiting tool as Lamison fires a deep ball. Was he in?
No. Out of bounds. A great catch.
Great effort.
Great one-handed catch there that time by Leslie, but ball took him out of bounds. Whenever they get one-on-one outside, they're going to try to take some shots. Look at Leslie with that one-hand catch. Right foot just comes down on the line. Great job of concentration there. Lamson just threw him out of bounds.
Aaron Colvin on the coverage. On second down, back to the ground. And it's Dowell, a couple of tough yards between the tackles.
You know, one of the biggest adjustments Oklahoma has made from that first drive when they were giving up so many runs is now they're playing 8 guys in the box. They're crowding the line of scrimmage. They're going to take the run away, and now they're forcing Lamison and these wide receivers to make some plays outside. They're playing man-to-man outside, but their priority went from let's play coverage to now let's take the run away from Nathan Jeffrey.
3rd down and 6, and this crowd has been silenced quite a bit. Lamison. Oh, a great catch. Boy, Jordan Leslie must have some stickum on those hands.
They talked very highly of him. They expect him to have a big year. Got a big body, 6'2", 210 pounds. And that time he just used all of it. See Lamson step up in the hole and then just throws the ball to the outside, and Aaron Colvin, number 14, has no chance to make that play. That's exactly where you want to throw a ball away from the defensive back.
Important first down for the Miners. Behind the left side of that offensive line. A few more yards, give them 4. That's Zay Williams, one of the backup running backs.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do, though. They've got to continue to run the football, and just because Oklahoma is playing 8 guys in the box and crowding the line of scrimmage, they can't get discouraged by that. They have to continue to try to be balanced, get some runs, and then work the play action off of that.
Jeffrey the lone back on 2nd and 6. Lamison fires, good coverage there. Getting the arm in, that's Aaron Colvin. He's actually recovering from shoulder surgery, played 5 games last year.
Just moved him back to the cornerback position. You can see him drive on the ball, and that's not pass interference. Even though you see that left hand on his back, if you're not impeding the progress of that receiver or throwing him off stride, they'll allow that incidental contact, but did a great job coming over with the opposite hand and knocking the ball away.
Miners go 4 wide on 3rd and 6. And Lamison rushing that throw again. Some good pursuit by that OU defensive line. Chuka and Dule, sophomore from Dallas, Texas, number 98.
And there you see the aggressiveness. Mike Stoops, you know, he's an intense, emotional guy. He's going to bring pressure. You know, he was kind of hesitant to tell us how much pressure he was going to bring and exactly what changes they made schematically. But you know that with him, the pressure's going to come.
Ian Campbell on to punt, one of the top punters in America, averages over 46 yards a boot. A penalty flag on the field. Another perfect punt by Campbell, but let's check what the flag is. It's a 43-yard punt with no return.
Illegal motion. Number 1 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, re-kick, 4th down.
That's on Adrian James, and that's not what you want to see for 2 reasons. Obviously, you don't want a penalty, but you couldn't do a better job with an unreturnable punt that bounces out of bounds after 43 yards.
Yeah, they're a directional punting team, meaning they try to kick the ball outside the numbers, and they usually try to kick it to the side of Adrian James. He's their best special teams guy. He's their fastest gunner, so they try to kick the ball to him and directionally outside the numbers to try to limit how much room the return man has to run.
This time it's returnable from the 15. It's Brown. Brown picks up a couple blockers. Brown shakes and bakes his way to the 45-yard line. Great return by the former Nittany Lion.
And the first problem there, Mike, is that he kicked the ball to the middle of the field. We just talked about them being a directional punting team, and now he hits it, and he kicks it to the middle of the field and gives Brown a lot of room. Justin Brown comes over from Penn State. He was a punt returner there, did a great job. Look at him just weave and get down the field to give Oklahoma great field position.
A nifty 25-yard return after a 57-yard punt. And now the Sooners with momentum and great field position, as you see Justin Brown, a senior. When you talk to Bob Stoops and company, they are so excited to have this young man on the offense. Straight ahead running on first down by Dominique Whaley. Justin Brown from Penn State, and he's a guy that, you know, when you look at his career numbers, got 35 balls last year, 517 yards, but the maturity, the leadership that he brings the rest of this young receiving core, invaluable, according to Bob Stoops.
Yeah, very mature young man has come in, earned a starting spot.
Quick throw on second down, caught by Millard. Let's send it back down to the field. Check in with Laura McKeemum.
Thank you, Mike. And UTEP D lineman Jamard Reed told me he felt they were ready for this hurry-up offense from Oklahoma. He pulled his guys together on the sideline and said, hey guys, this is normal for us. Let's just keep doing what we've practiced. Now, Andre Patterson, UTEP's defensive coordinator, added to that, saying add an extra depth to your tackles. Run through them. Mike?
All right, thank you, Laura. From the 42 on first down. Play action. Jones deep over the middle looking for Stills. He's got him at the 10, and he's wrestled down inside the 5. But a penalty flag all the way back near the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, chop block. Number 8 of the offense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Whaley, the tailback.
You got to watch Dominique Whaley takes the fake right here, and then you can't go low on a rusher. That's Jamard Reed, already engaged with Adam Shedd, number 74. So a guy cannot go high and then the next blocker come in low. That's against the rules, and obviously nullified a huge play for Oklahoma.
It's been a major point of emphasis the last few years in college football. And boy, does that change the complexion of the drive. Now first and 25. Draw play to Brennan Clay. Short gain. Clay, one of the bevy of tailbacks they have. Whaley, Clay, we've seen Damian Williams. Roy Finch is another guy that'll get some carries as well. It's still early, but if you're UTEP, it's a pretty big drive for your defense. Jones, high, intended for Matuire. We haven't talked a whole lot about Matuire, but this is a talented freshman.
They really like him. A lot of buzz about Matuire, not only in Norman, but nationally. But you can see right there the timing between them two, not quite there yet. You know, and with McGuire here, Justin Brown here, 2 new guys on the outside, you can run all you want in practice and scrimmages, but in a game, the timing is different, and that time they just couldn't connect on that deep out route.
Let's see what they dial up here on 3rd down and 22. Jones, home run ball, and out of bounds, incomplete, intended for McGuire. Nice job by Drew Thomas on the coverage. That UTEP secondary is awfully impressive.
Yeah, they are. Again, last year they gave up a lot of big plays, but that's the way they play. They're an attacking, blitzing defense, and with that comes a lot of risk. But there's Andre Patterson right there, the defensive coordinator, says he's going to keep after. It doesn't matter who they play, he's going to stay aggressive.
A late penalty flag.
Number 44, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Oh boy, that's on Greg Watkins, the left end. So now you got to stop the Oklahoma offense again.
Now the secondary backs off a bit. 3rd and long, so they're going to play zone coverage, try to keep everything in front of them, and then just come up and make the tackle.
Miners rushing forward. Jones flushed out. And incomplete. Again, good coverage on the play and good pursuit by that defensive line. Pass intended for Brandon Green, the tight end.
And that's what pressure does for you. You don't always hit the quarterback. You don't always sack the quarterback, but you make them uncomfortable. Make them have to run, make them have to move, and throw on the move. And it's tough to be very accurate when you're doing that.
Edwards back to receive the punt from Tress Way, a senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Miners with 10 on the line. They blocked one. Little contact, and there's the penalty flag. A nice acting job by Way, but no question about it, there was contact.
You can see they're going to try to block the punt again. He goes to the block point, but then his body slides.
Into the kicker. Penalty is declined. 1st down, UTEP.
You can see that's not the personal foul variety because he actually just slid, didn't really make a whole lot of contact with Way. Therefore, it's only the 5-yard variety, and they decline it.
It was on Wesley Miller on the slide. 33 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. They've been talking about this game all off season. UTEP obviously doesn't get a whole lot of opportunities to play the number 4 team in the nation. Great crowd on hand. This historic venue seating about 51,000. Not a whole lot of empty seats tonight.
Oh, and it's really helped this team in its preparation all spring, all summer, because you know you're playing the Oklahoma Sooners.
Nathan Jeffrey keeps the legs churning. Guts it up the middle for 6. R.J. Washington on the tackle, number 11. That's a guy that they need to play big, JC. He's got all kinds of potential, but he hasn't lived up to it yet.
And they've got some issues up front. You know, they're thin at the defensive tackle spot. They've got bodies, but not a lot of experience, or at the defensive end position. So up front, those guys have got to be a lot better than what they've been this 1st quarter.
An impressive 1st quarter for the Miners. A stalemate with the Sooners after 15 minutes. 7-7. Mike Price has got his guys playing some good football. You're watching Fox College Football. Welcome back to beautiful El Paso. 7-7 our score. It's a full moon out tonight. Some strange things can happen under those conditions. Pretty strange 1st quarter for the Oklahoma Sooners. It was UTEP getting all the momentum early on. Nathan Jeffrey, we talked about him in the open, and then how about on the block punt? It's 25. Nathan Jeffrey on the return, giving the Miners a 7-0 lead. Kenny Stills, he would respond. Trying to lead this receiving core now. Makes a big play, a terrific throw to the opposite side of the field by Landry Jones. That would tie it up. And since then, Both teams have had a couple of drives stall, some pretty good defense, not just by Oklahoma, but perhaps, JC, the story has been the defense by UTEP.
No question about it. And we knew that they were going to come out and they were going to be emotional, they were going to be intense. But can they maintain that throughout the ball game?
On second down. Nothing doing there for Nathan Jeffrey. Boy, Chuka Ndule has made a statement in this first half, playing some very good football.
Well, you know, the thing about when you spread and then you run the zone read, Lameson's not really a threat. He's not going to keep the ball and run it. So now they can all flow to Jeffrey. And that's why when they're crowding the line of scrimmage, they've got 8 guys up there. Everybody's flowing to Jeffrey. So every now and then Lameson's got to try to keep the ball to keep that defense honest, but he's not really a running quarterback.
The guy that's been quiet is number 6, Michael Edwards, his top receiver. On third and short. In and out of the hands of the intended target. Good coverage on the play by Corey Nelson, the linebacker. Intended for Craig Wenrick, the tight end. Mike Price very high on his trio of tight ends. So the punting unit onto the field for UTEP. Ian Campbell, top 5 of the nation in punting a year ago. It's off another good one, and it takes a great bounce. UTEP will let this one roll inside the 20 and finally dead at the 17-yard line. When we come back, the Oklahoma offense and Kenny Stills back on the field. The Sooners trying to take the lead, 7-7, our score. College football is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com. Up in the hills, we've got fans all over the place. I don't think you have to buy a ticket if you're sitting there on the mountaintops, JC.
And better be careful, though. How are you going to get down? That's the problem.
It felt like a good idea when they got up there. I don't know how they're going to get down either, but they've got a pretty good view. This really is a unique venue in college football. Our first trip ever to the Sun Bowl. Great crowd on hand. Terrific sights and sounds. And right now we're taking a look at the Oklahoma offense again. In and out of the hands of Dominic Whaley. A lot of Sun Bowl facts. This stadium with a lot of tradition, built back in 1963. They've renovated it since then. Capacity over 51,000. 50th season at the Sun Bowl for UTEP. And they are 30-18 here under Mike Price. Mike Price told us, you know what? It's more than just the students and the alums. We want the entire city to feel like this is their team. On second down. Behind the right side of that line and scooting ahead is Whaley. Whaley's been bottled up for the most part, but he gobbles up 7 there.
Yeah, coming off of that ankle injury, broke his left ankle after 7 games last year and was having a great season. They say he's 100%. We haven't seen any limp. I watched him in pregame. Didn't have any trouble, but not seeing that explosiveness yet from him that we saw last year.
Just 18 yards on 4 carries thus far. This is 3rd and 3. Look out. Jones got it off at the last second, and if Whaley holds on and breaks 1 tackle, he might take that one to the house.
Yeah, Landry Jones, great job. He told us about him working on his footwork and escapability, and we see it here because watch off the edge. They come unblocked right there. It's Richard Spencer. He doesn't get him. He avoids another guy, steps up and puts the ball right on the money for Finch, who drops it. And remember, Bob Stoops talked to Laura about these guys have got to make some plays for him. It's not all about Landry Jones.
Needs a little help. That was a beautiful looking throw. This is a beautiful looking punt, fielded by Edwards. Edwards has all kinds of daylight. 45 and down to the 49-yard line. The punter, Tress Way, might have saved a touchdown. Huge return.
Well, I tell you what, it's easy to see up here, but if he would have went left instead of right, he might still be running because there was a lot of green grass, or field turf rather, on this side of the field. Anytime you kick the ball to the middle of the field, you give the return man a two-way go. He starts right, comes back left, and right there, that little cut, if he stays left, he probably beats the punter way. Punters aren't used to making tackles. If he, especially in the open field, if he goes left on him, he might still be running, but a great return, great field position for UTEP.
Penalty flag, could be a free play. Another penalty flag on the interference. Colvin got tangled up with the wideout. Jordan Leslie. Let's see what the first one is all about.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offsides, number 11 defense. Penalties decline. Pass interference, number 14 defense. Automatic first down.
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. If you get a free play, you might as well take the shot down the field because it doesn't matter what happens. It's still your ball. So now they get an offsides penalty up front. Watch, there's the offsides right there. Now it's a free play. So great job of taking that shot down the field, because nothing bad can happen. Only good things can happen in this situation, because even if it's picked off, the ball comes back to you and it's 1st and 5.
Into Oklahoma territory with the penalty. Big hole up the middle. Jeffrey again. Time for a Mazda game break. Let's check in with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen.
Mike, number 3 LSU hosting North Texas, and was all about the ground game for LSU. Tigers had 316 yards on the ground. Kenny Hilliard there. He and Alfred Blue both crack 100 yards. They get Washington next week. 41-14 the final score. Mike?
LSU and Alabama, a couple of SEC heavyweights. Very impressive in week number 1. 2nd and short. Again, trying the middle is Jeffrey. Might have squeezed out a yard. Good defense there by the OU front 4. Tom Wharton in on the tackle, the very talented middle linebacker. They know they've got a really good secondary in Norman and feel good about a couple of the linebackers, but there's still some question marks about this defense.
Yeah, there is. And, you know, they've had to move some guys around in the secondary. Aaron Colvin goes to corner. Tony Jefferson goes from nickel to free safety. So there's some guys that have a lot of talent playing in different spots.
Jeffrey trying to turn the corner, leaps over a defender, and I think he's got it. What a play by Nathan Jeffrey.
How about Jeffrey at 5'11"? See right here, Demontre Hurst doesn't really go low. He stays high on him. Nathan Jeffrey just jumps over. Look at Demontre Hurst. It's not like he's really going low there, but he's just got to keep his eyes open. You got to be able to wrap up, see what you're hitting. That time he drops his head, and then Nathan Jeffrey at 5'11" just jumps right over him.
Basically used Demontre Hurst as a hurdle. Play action. Almost intercepted. Tony Jefferson read that one all the way.
Yeah, bad decision by Nick Lamison. And those are the kind of throws that he said he wanted to avoid and get away from. There was no way that that ball was going to be complete. You got to know when to fold them. Throw that ball away and line up for the next play. Got away with one that time.
UTEP already had a drive inside Oklahoma territory, which stalled and ended with a missed field goal. Important for the Miners to put points on the board here. And a timeout called by Oklahoma. We'll take it with them. 11:03 remaining in the first half. Tie ball game here in El Paso. It's been a good ball game thus far. 11:03 remaining in the first half. UTEP struck first with a block punt touchdown. Oklahoma big pass play, and now the Miners on the move. 2nd and 10. The ball on the 25-yard line of Oklahoma. A chance to take the lead again. Straight up the gut, it's Jeffrey. Pickup of 3. R.J. Washington with another tackle.
The big thing really for UTEP here is just don't turn the ball over. You're in field goal range right now. Run some more time off the clock. Be conservative. Don't turn it over. And then try to settle for 3 if you have to.
We know about Lamison. Nathan Jeffrey has really been the story thus far. 11 carries, 64 yards. Passing down here on 3rd and 7. And deflected, incomplete. There was some contact, and there is the penalty flag. Our referee is Greg Burks.
Pass interference, number 9, defense. Spot foul, it is first down.
Gabe Lynn, number 9, their nickelback. Watch him right here. He's covered inside. Does a great job, recognizes the route right now, but he's not quick enough to get there. And so he runs through the receiver and impedes his progress. Jim Jones, the receiver, great job of keeping his body in front. But I'll tell you what, Gabe Lynn recognized that slant immediately, but just couldn't get there.
A couple of big penalties on the Oklahoma defense as the Miners continue to stay comfortable on the ground. Jeffrey tackled by Aaron Colvin after a 3-yard pickup. JC, if you would have told me that Nathan Jeffrey, as good as he is, would be averaging over 5 yards a carry at this point, I would have said that's pretty good news for the Miners.
Oh, they're definitely happy with that and the way that they're playing. I mean, ball control, great drive here. Most importantly, it's taking time off the clock and keeping that OU offense on the side.
2nd down, deflected and almost picked off. A dangerous pass over the middle. Tom Wart got his hands on it.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with those too many more times. That's about 3 times that we've seen Lamison force the football. And you can see right here, everybody just dropping in zone coverage, reading his eyes, and Tom Wart just runs right under that. Really should have caught that football, but Lamison's not going to get away with too many more of those.
And the last thing you want to do here on 3rd and 7, make a turnover. You should have at least 3 points on the board. Lamison looking end zone toward the corner. Incomplete. Not a bad throw. He went for his top target, Michael Edwards.
Michael Edwards wanting pass interference. DeMontre Hurst, number 6 on number 6. They just run that corner route. And I'm not sure if there was any contact made. See the ball in the air. Watch the defensive back. Even though his head never turns around to find the ball, not really much contact there. That's a good call. That's a good no call right there.
This is from 31. And this time Warren knocks it through. So the Miners back on top with 9:31 remaining. When we return, we'll take you to our Fox College Football studio for a halftime preview with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen.
At the half, we're going to take a look at Matty Trojan and USC.
And
they look good today.
Absolutely. And remember, I talked about the eye test earlier. That defense, that young defense, putting pressure on the quarterback, looking very good.
All right, we'll also talk about some kids who are literally letting their futures go up in smoke. That's all coming up right now. Back to Mike and JC.
All right, guys, it's a very lonely feeling for that man, Dakota Warren. And I apologize. If you take a look at this, we had 2 angles on this. One had it look good. This is the telling shot. And you can see at the very end, Yeah, from that angle, it actually looks pretty clear.
Yeah, you got to be able to convert those. I mean, he was in pregame banging them from 44 yards easily, and now that's the second miss of the game. And for UTEP, they can't afford to not get points when they have the opportunity to, if they're going to come out with a huge win.
So 6 would-be points off the board for the Miners. And we're still deadlocked at 7 with 9:29 to play. Jones. Swallowed up. 3 orange jerseys in on the sack. Roy Robertson, one of the first men in.
Yeah, Roy Robertson, they bring 5-man pressure. I think Roy Robertson is down here playing the left end. Does a great job with his hands, but never gives up. Good spin move and comes right back under. And Landry Jones has nowhere to go. That's that speed off the edges that UTEP has and thinks they've got an advantage with.
4-man rush on 2nd and 14. This is Stills. Back near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and long. Give them 6. It has not been an easy day for the Oklahoma passing game.
No, and Andre Patterson, the defensive coordinator, is doing a good job of continuing pressure.
This time they hit Stills. The hurry up in full effect right now for the Sooners.
Yeah, that's the fast speed tempo. Caught UTEP off guard, and Kenny Stills just runs between the hashes. That's where he's going to catch a lot of balls. That's where Ryan Broyles really caught a ton of his passes. And now Kenny Stills steps into that spot. He's got to work the middle of the field for the Sooners.
Jones looking at the sideline, waiting for the right call. Play clock down to 3. They set up the screen. The 40 and down to the 47-yard line. That is Justin Brown. 7-yard pickup shy of the marker.
And that's what they've got to do, I think, to get Brown and Matwire in the game.
Quick play on 2nd and 3, and that will move the chains. Brown again.
Ball came out, but went out of bounds. But you can see that they just need to get these guys the ball quickly and then let them try to make a play, because outside, when they run routes, they're all vertical routes, and they work off of deep to short, but they haven't had a lot of time to let those routes develop. So now they're going to the quick screens and throwing them the ball quickly.
Ball just past midfield. 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half. A tie ball game here at the Sun Bowl. To the ground and ripping off about 7-8 yards. That's the fullback Trey Millard.
He doesn't get the ball very much. Only had 24 carries last year, but very valuable.
Jones completes it on the go. Again, it's Kenny Stills. Easily the best looking drive of the night for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and because they're varying their tempo, and the times that they've gone super fast like they normally do, they've hit big plays. That time they go super quick again. I think they caught UTEP off guard again, and they get a big gain out of it.
From the 31-yard line, Jones surveys, and he is sacked. Great pursuit again by that UTEP defensive line, Jermard Reed.
And I'll tell you what, this is a coverage sack because UTEP played zone defense. They were going to keep everything in front of them, and Landry Jones just held the ball too long. And Jermard Reed, we talked about him earlier, that speed and that quickness. He's their 3 technique guy. If he's single blocked, he's got to be disruptive and penetrate, and did a great job coming up with the sack.
Crowd noise picks up now on 2nd and 16. Wide of the mark. Intended for Matwire.
Again, it just doesn't look like the timing with Landry Jones and those guys outside are quite there yet. Kenny Stills is going to be a security blanket work in the middle of the field, but they've got to work the ball all over the field, and he just doesn't seem like he doesn't trust him yet, and he's holding the ball just a little bit too long.
It's one thing to do it in practice and scrimmages. This is game time now.
Yep, different speed now.
6 minutes on the clock. Another screen set up. Got a convoy along the right side. Good pickup for Brennan Clay, but it will be shy of a first down.
And again, UTEP, they'll take that. They drop back in coverage, make sure that the ball is not thrown over your head, keep it in front of you, and then rally to the ball. And when you play zone defense, all eyes are on the quarterback and the ball, and so now they can rally to it, make the tackle, and force a fourth down.
Mike Honeycutt last year was 21 of 24. This is from 44 yards out. Blocked, picked up by the Miners. Look out! All the way down near midfield. Another block kick for UTEP.
Special teams. They've won all night for UTEP. And I'm not sure. I mean, they're coming off the edge, and I'm not really sure if he got his hands on the ball or that was just a low kick. You see him coming off, and look at that kick, had no chance whatsoever. I mean, it came off of his foot, angling to the left. Here's Coach Price, ecstatic about that. 2 blocks in the first half.
UTEP back on offense, and who else but Jeffrey on the carry. A block punt for a touchdown, a blocked field goal. Meanwhile, UTEP has missed 2 field goals. Otherwise, they could be up 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that? I mean, these young men came out ready to play, not intimidated. And that's what Coach Price told us. He said these kids they're going to come out, and he never mentioned Oklahoma. Said the word Oklahoma all spring or all summer. He said he didn't have to. These kids knew who they were playing. They got themselves ready.
This is the backup quarterback, Carson Meager. The lefty going to tuck it and run. And is lassoed from behind. After a pickup of about 8, Tony Jefferson brings him to the turf.
That's a good decision. He's a little more mobile than Lamison is. We talked about how Lamison, not much of a runner, but when you get into a game like this, offensively, you need to be diversified. You need to be able to attack in multiple ways. And now if you've got a quarterback that is mobile, that can make some plays with his feet like we just saw, it really makes it a lot tougher on a defense.
A 3rd down and 3. To the ground. Probably 2 for Nathan Jeffrey. Well, what do you do here?
Looks like they're going for it.
I like it. Why not?
Why not? And like another thing Mike Price told us, he said, hey, what do we really have to lose? You know, no one really expects us to win the game, so we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to go out and do everything we can to try to make a statement and shock the country.
4th down and a short 2. Straight up the gut. Going to be close. Jeffrey burrowed ahead.
It's going to be close.
Left foot, right foot.
I think he got the spot, though. So do the UTEP players.
Wow, it's going to be awfully close. They've got it. He needed the 41, and the nose of that football is right near the 41. A lot riding on this spot.
Oh, short.
Wow. Oklahoma gets it done on short yardage. Big play for the Sooner defense.
But you got to like their aggressiveness. just going to try to hit it up inside. See, it's tough to see right there where the ball actually was when the knee came down. You can see right there, he's down. I think it was a good spot.
The guy that makes that tackle, Chuka and Dule, he's been on a lot of stops already in this first half.
It's under further review. Ruling on the field was the ball carrier was short of the line to gain.
Well, like you said, JC, I just don't know if there's an angle that's going to be good enough to overturn this.
Right. But if you're Mike Price and UTEP, why not? You know, I mean, why not try to get a review? Obviously, it's coming up from the booth, but you never know. I mean, we've seen some strange things happen today in college football where it seems one thing seemed obvious and then they overturned it.
Again, our referee tonight, Greg Burks. You see the markers at the 41. And, you know, when his body spins, he hits the ground. Where is the ball when he hits the ground?
That's the thing, and that's what they're trying to determine and see. It's hard to tell because there are a lot of bodies in there. Where is that ball? And you can't, there's no definitive look.
No.
So it's hard to, you can't overturn the call if you don't have a definitive look at it.
And they are looking in the replay booth at the same angles that you folks at home are watching. So far, we haven't seen one that would be good enough to overturn this call. If UTEP gets that first down, they could be in business.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Oklahoma.
So not surprisingly, the call stands. Oklahoma gets it back with 3:01 to play here in the first half.
And now what UTEP's got to do defensively is just not have a mental lapse right here. I think Oklahoma's going to come out and be aggressive. They want to try to get some points on the board going into halftime. You can't lapse mentally and let a guy run by you. You got to keep the ball in front of you if you're UTEP.
Big run, right side. Whaley coughs it up. Free football. And recovered out of bounds. The Sooners will keep it. That could have been huge. A 17-yard pickup. Give Justin Brown credit hustling after that one to cover it up.
Yeah, you can see Whaley here. Good cut right there. That ball just gets poked out. You see it? You see him get it away from his body right there at the end. Then it just gets knocked away from him, and OU comes up with the lucky break right there. That ball going out of bounds.
Great job by Terrell Mark to jar that loose, number 23. Sooners need to put some points on the board here. 7-7 our score, surprisingly, with 2:51 to play in the first half. They'll keep rounding and pounding behind the right side of that line. Gain of about 3, maybe 4. Second down and manageable for Landry Jones and company.
All they're trying to set up is the play action pass. So now watch them try to come back, and they'll fake that run and then try to hit somebody down the middle of the field. This is where UTEP's got to really be aware. You see, they're backed off in coverage, playing zone coverage to keep everything in front of them. And if you're UTEP, you're okay giving up 3 points here and going into halftime down 7-3. I think that's a win for them mentally. You just don't want to give up a big play here for a touchdown.
Miners rush 4. Jones looking deep, far sideline, jump ball, caught it. Is he out? It'll be marked out of bounds. No catch. McGuire made a sensational grab, but they rule it out of bounds.
Yeah, I think he went out of bounds before he even caught the football. And that's on Matoyer. Watch him, number 17. He's just going to come out and then get vertical. But he's got to get up the field. You see how he continues to drift out of bounds? And right there, the ball comes down, and his left foot's out of bounds. If he straightens up the field, then he gives Landry Jones a pocket outside where he can lay that football in. But Matoyer, a young guy, being just a freshman, he'll learn from that. He can't continue to fade to the sideline there.
Nice job by the officiating crew to call that properly.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Oh, goodness. Now you take a 3rd down and 6. Make it a 3rd down and 11. Mike Stoops was livid about something there.
I think you got to watch Kenny Stills here work in the middle of the field. Even though they're playing zone coverage, I think he's going to try to get between the hashes.
Nicely formed pocket for Jones over the middle, incomplete, intended for Justin Brown.
And you can see it's just not there, timing-wise and accuracy-wise, with those guys on the outside. We saw Matoyer drift too far on the last throw. This time, Justin Brown just not where Landry Jones wants him to be. They drag Kenny Stills across the middle, gets that safety to bite up, but they can't connect down the middle of the field.
Tressway back out onto the field, and let's be honest, we called his name a lot more than we thought we would in this first half. High spiraling kick into the end zone. 1:35 remaining. An emotional first half here in the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Oklahoma, getting all they can handle from the Miners of UTEP. Miners football in a 7-7 game with 1:35 remaining in the first half. Let's send it back down to the field with Laura McKeeman.
Thanks, Mike. We saw a UTEP quarterback switch, and I talked to offensive coordinator Aaron Price, who said, hey, we just want to get as many creative plays going. We wanted a more mobile quarterback in there, and as we've seen all night, they've had no problem being aggressive on the UTEP side of the ball. JC, as he keeps saying, look, what do they have to lose, guys?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when you play against teams like this, you need a mobile quarterback. Now, Lamison back in the game right now. He threw some questionable balls earlier in this first half, too. He's got to be careful.
This has been the workhorse, Nathan Jeffrey. David King wrestles him down to the ground right near the line of scrimmage. One thing they told us about Nathan Jeffrey, the coaching staff for UTEP, they said, you know what? We want to get him the ball 25 times or more. We feel like he gets better once he gets to that point.
Yeah, but you know what would also help him is if the quarterback would keep the ball on that zone read some, because if a team knows that your quarterback is not mobile and not a threat, they're going to run to the running back every time, and that's what Oklahoma's adjustment has been, and they've really shut Jeffrey down after that first drive.
Back to Jeffrey on 2nd down. Popped and dropped after a pickup of 5. Couple of Oklahoma Sooners on the blow, Colvin and Ward.
No rush here for UTEP. Very content in letting this clock run out, and going into halftime, that's tied 7-7. I mean, that's a huge emotional boost for those guys, knowing that they missed 2 field goals also. So they're going in there talking about, hey, we can win this ball game.
Conservative call on 3rd and 5. Banging ahead is Jeffrey. He'll be shy of the marker, and you would expect UTEP to punt it away here. We're hearing all kinds of whistles. A timeout called by Oklahoma, so that'll set up one last chance for a return as we look at the action from today in the AP Top 10. Southern Cal destroying Hawaii. Alabama, how about that? Impressive over Michigan LSU the same. Oregon leading big time over Arkansas State. Georgia Bulldogs got a couple of good-looking freshman running backs. FSU playing Murray State. Already know the Gamecocks won on Thursday night in Arkansas with another FCS opponent. I think the one that stands out there, JC, is that Alabama score.
Yeah, very impressive. Thought that game was going to be much closer. I think this one is surprising. Now here, all you want to do is just kick the ball out of bounds. Don't even give Oklahoma a chance to return it.
Look out, Campbell almost had that one blocked. I'm not sure why he touched it. Let the clock run out. Now there might be a second left. It's just a 15-yard punt. So they will put 1 second back on the clock, and Oklahoma can launch one into the end zone.
Yeah, that's a big mental error for UTEP. Just leave the ball alone and let the clock continue to run out. No reason to touch that football there at all. They've been great on special teams this entire half, but that was a big mental error right there, and it gives Oklahoma, you know, a chance at a Hail Mary. Who knows what can happen.
Keep in mind the Sooners have some tall receivers. Tall, athletic guys that can jump up here. Jones buys time. Up for grabs and almost caught on the deflection. Stills had a shot at it, and that is how the half will come to an end. What a surprising half it has been. Another look at the Hail Mary.
Yeah. Just get guys running down the field, and then Steele's number 4 is the trail guy. So any deflections, any bounces, he's in position for, and almost comes up with the bounce.
Let's check in with Laura.
All right, Coach, you said you were going to come out aggressive, especially with your special teams. You weren't lying. Talk about that touchdown and what else you've seen from your team.
Well, I like the special teams, obviously, except for the field goal kickers. Not on track right now. We might have to make a change there. But I really like our defense. We're moving the ball. We're able to run the ball, tackle the tackle, and then they put 8 in the box and made us throw it. And so we just kind of been playing a chess game like that. But I'm real proud of the job that they've done so far.
All right, congratulations, Coach. Good luck in the second half. All right, halftime in El Paso with the score 7-7 tied. And now we take you to Los Angeles for our Fox College Football halftime with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen.
A surprising halftime score here from El Paso. It's the Sooners 7 and the Miners of UTEP 7. Well, a very entertaining first half, and let's face it, we expected a lot of possibilities in that first 30 minutes of action, but JC, I don't think we expected Oklahoma to be held to 7 points on 7 first downs.
No question about it, and UTEP's got to be ecstatic about that. But UTEP's dominated on the special teams in all phases. I mean, they came out right from the jump. Right here, though, they missed a field goal. They should have had 3 points there. Then they come back. Spencer does a great job of blocking this punt. Nathan Jeffrey scoops and scores. They get great field position here on a big punt return that could have led to points, but Dakota Warren, again, just a little wide right. And then how about this? Then they come back and they block an OU field goal at the end of the second quarter. They've absolutely dominated in special teams, and that's why this game is tied at 7. And you look at the halftime numbers right there. You know, UTEP not doing a lot throwing the ball, but was effective really early running the football. And like you said, 145 yards passing for Landry Jones in this offense. Not good enough. They've got to make some changes at halftime.
As we get ready for the second half, let's check in with Laura McKeeman.
Thank you, Mike. And I spoke with Mike Stoops right as they came out of the locker room. He said one of the biggest things that they spoke about during halftime was how UTEP is doing such a good job of keeping them off the field. They have to get on the field. They have to worry about that run defense. He also said he feels the pass defense has been pretty good. Mike?
All right, thank you very much, Laura. Oklahoma gets the ball first in the second half, and no doubt that offense is chomping at the bit to mount some more drives. They really only had a couple of drives worthwhile. One, of course, with the big play to Stills, another one which ended with a missed field goal. They've also had a punt block. Special teams obviously have played a huge role in this game for the Miners. Now we'll see if that defense can hold up against what normally is a lethal offense for Oklahoma. Finch and Clay back deep to receive for the Sooners. We're about 4,000 feet above sea level. The ball carries here, and it carries well on that kickoff. A new rule now. You get it at the 25-yard line. I think, JC, that takes away some of the motivation to kick it into the end zone.
No question about it. You know, especially if you've got a dangerous return man back there, though, you want to do that. But ideally, you like the coffin corner, kick it real high into the corners between the numbers and the sideline and box them in. But here's the thing. Let's see what kind of adjustments Oklahoma made in the locker room to start this second half offensively.
The numbers on Landry Jones, not bad, but not very Heisman-like in the first half. Certainly he can do better, and so can this Sooners offense. They started off on the ground to Whaley. 3 yards for Dominique Whaley, the senior from Lawton, Oklahoma, a former walk-on. He's really a tremendous story. He moved around a lot as a kid. He did not play running back in high school. Then he goes to the NAIA. He was a bench warmer there. Pass complete. And that should move the chains. That's Justin Brown.
I think one of the things that we see right there off the bat is Landry Jones getting the ball out of his hands quicker. I thought in the first half he held the ball way too long, way too many times. Now they're trying to get it out quickly.
Brown again, the hot hand. They get it to him, and he travels near midfield. It'll be close to a first down.
You can see the tempo now. They're trying to speed the tempo up. They made some plays in that first half when they went fast and caught UTEP not quite ready at the snap.
Draw play. Whaley. Couple. Not a whole lot. I tell you what, Dominique Whaley, he's used to having some gaping holes, but not tonight.
No, I mean, this run defense of UTEP is playing very well. I mean, last year they gave up a lot of yards. 7 teams ran for over 200 yards on this defense last year. Andre Patterson told us this is a much improved defense because they're athletic, they can run, and they're going to be aggressive in attack, and they've done a great job so far tonight against this powerful Oklahoma team.
Damian Williams in the backfield behind Landry Jones. UTEP calls timeout. We'll take it with them. 7-7 our score from El Paso. Fox College Football is presented by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Mike Morgan alongside J.C. Pearson. 7-7 our score with 13:47 remaining. And J.C., UTEP had good reason to call a timeout.
Yeah, one thing Mike Price told us is we want to make sure we have 11 on the field at all times. And then look at this. They end up with only 10 guys on the field, and they're forced to take a timeout. And when he told us that, he said, this may sound goofy, this may sound dumb, but we just want to make sure we have 11 on the field at all times. And that time they were only with 10, and can't play against this Oklahoma Sooner offense with 10 guys.
Mike Price, a guy who's been around the block for a while, 174 career coaching victories, now in his 8th season at UTEP. Second down and 8. Jones fires over the middle, completes it to Kenny Stills.
Again, that's where Stills is going to be the bread and butter guy. And if UTEP is going to continue to blitz those linebackers, it's going to open up the middle of the field.
Third and short, they run it wide. Great pursuit by the right side of that UTEP defense. I don't know if he's got it. That's Millard, the fullback.
I think that's Drew Thomas, the corner that came up with the great tackle. If you're Oklahoma here, I think you got to go for it. You got to try to make a statement. And I think you come with the belldozer, Blake Bell.
Blake Bell in the game for the first time tonight. He had 13 rushing touchdowns a year ago. He's a horse. 6'6", over 250 pounds. Bell lowers the shoulders, upended right at the 40.
Got just enough. I tell you what, I'm surprised though at 6'6", 250. You don't want him to run sideways like he's running here. You want that guy to be a big pounder. You can see that ball just crosses the 40-yard line.
I'm with you. I thought he was going to take it straight up the gut.
Yeah, when you're that big and that strong and all you need is a yard, you don't want that guy to be running sideways. That takes his strength away from him.
Sooners trying to get the first score of half number 2. Throw on first down, complete at the 35. Brought down there. That is Matwire. We haven't called his name a whole lot tonight. And again, as talented as he is, JC, he's just a freshman.
He's just a freshman in his first game. So they've had some timing issues. But that was just an easy throw. They're just running the stops outside now because UTEP's corners are playing off. They're playing zone coverage, so they're giving those receivers a lot of room. In the first half, they kept trying to run deep. Now they're running short routes and getting rid of the ball quickly and into their hands.
Big hole right side behind the right tackle, and a big gain for Brennan Clay, the junior from San Diego, gobbles up 8.
Now what UTEP's got to do, they've got to get aggressive again defensively. It seems like they've gotten a little passive. They're not bringing a lot of pressure. They're not playing man on the outside. So they've given Landry Jones some easy throws. And now the running backs have running lanes because the linebackers are 4 or 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and not attacking.
This is Clay again. Nice jump cut, bouncing outside, and earns a couple of hard-earned yards before Jamard Reed trips him up.
Jamard Reed, see him down right there. That would be a huge loss because he's really the key to the way they play defense here. He's that 3 technique guy that just has to get up the field and be disruptive and force Oklahoma to double team him. They can't afford to lose him.
We'll take a break, come back more. 7-7 our score. Well, a good sign while we were away. Jamard Reed, number 61, able to get off the field on his own power. Always a scary moment when you see a play like this, JC.
Yeah, you see Jamard Reed right here just hustling, trying to get in on the tackle, and right there, it looks like he just gets jammed up right there. Might have been a stinger to his shoulder because it looked like on the sideline they were working on his right shoulder, but that's a good sign for UTEP that he's okay because he's a big-time player for them defensively.
For more, let's go down to the field with Laura.
Thanks, Mike. And yeah, Jamard Reed came off. He says he feels fine, and he's been telling the trainers that he's okay. He's going to be able to go back in the game. It's definitely his right shoulder. They've done some rotation with it, made sure his fingers are still operating properly. He says it's a little numb, but he plans to keep playing. Guys?
All right, thank you much, Laura. On second down, the Sooners will keep it on the ground with Brennan Clay. 4 yards for Clay. Again, the Sooners really have a trio in the backfield. Whaley, Clay, and Damian Williams, the JUCO transfer who we saw earlier. Tight end Brandon Green racing onto the field. Jones in trouble, dances out, fires, incomplete. Matwire the intended target, but again, great defense by the Miners.
Yeah, man-to-man coverage down the field, but there was so much quick pressure on Landry Jones, he couldn't stand in the pocket and survey the field. So they get pressure on him, they make him move outside, and it's tough. Watch the pressure here, makes him have to move on the run, read on the run, avoids another guy, and then it's hard to be accurate when you're on the move running like that full speed.
Well, Landry Jones made a concerted effort in the offseason to lose weight. He's on a special diet. He wanted to be quicker. He wanted to be more mobile. Unfortunately, tonight for Oklahoma, he's had to be more mobile.
He's had to be. And but they just haven't had really the crisp timing that you're used to seeing from an Oklahoma offense. And I think it'll come in time, but remember, he's never played in a game with Justin Brown, never played in a game with Trey McGuire. Kenny Stills moves inside.
The injury, meanwhile, this is Ruben Munoz in hot pursuit of Jones.
Just giving everything he's got right there, and that may be more tired and exhaustion there than anything. I mean, he comes down, lays out, tries to make a play. Big fella like that needs a blow after that.
That's an obvious concern, this UTEP defense, which has been so good, going toe-to-toe with that explosive OU offense. Will they be able to stay fresh come fourth quarter? 38-yard field goal attempt by Honeycutt. 88% on field goals a year ago. And he knocks it through. Oklahoma, nothing has come easy for Bob Stoops and company tonight, but they will gladly take a 3-point lead with 10:07 to play in the third quarter. We'll see what the UTEP offense has in store when we return. Landry Jones held in check for the most part tonight. One touchdown pass. He's one of the Heisman Trophy hopefuls as we take a look at the top candidates this season, and a huge game for Geno Smith, the quarterback of West Virginia, of course, now in the Big 12. 5 total touchdowns, 4 through the air, 1 rushing. Bernard Robinson in a losing effort, still a big game for him. Matt Barkley, the usual, 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards through the air. Monte Ball, $120 on the ground. And right now, JC, the question is, what are going to be the final numbers for Landry Jones? He's been bottled up pretty well tonight.
Yeah, he sure has. And they tried to make some adjustments offensively. We saw that first drive coming out of the locker room to get rid of the ball quicker, get it out of his hands faster, because in the first half, he took too many, he held it too long and took a number of sacks. The pressure from UTEP has really bothered Oklahoma.
O'Hara on the kickoff. And this will not be returnable. So the Miners will have it at the 25-yard line.
You know, I talked about the adjustment that Oklahoma made at halftime, and it's just to get the ball out quicker. You see just a quick throw outside to Justin Brown, another quick screen outside, and allow those guys to make some plays. Kenny Stills work in the middle of the field, and then a quick throw outside to Trey McGuire. But you see, not holding the ball the way that he held it in the first half and allowing that UTEP pressure to get to him.
13 plays, 55 yards, took 4:55 off the clock. But the drive stalls, they settle for the field goal, take the lead, 10-7 now with 10:05 to play in the third quarter. And a penalty flag on first down for the Miners.
False start. Number 3, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the receiver, Jim Jones. Give credit to UTEP's offense. The Miners only have 3 penalties the whole night. Typically, in a mismatch, at least on paper, you see the underdog sometimes play a little sloppy, but not so far.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to not turn the ball over, and you have to not hurt yourself with penalties. And just give yourself a chance, however small that chance may be. A chance is a chance, and they've got that chance.
Jamison feeds his back. Big hole on the right side for Jeffrey. Down the sideline and shoved out after a first down carry, 15 yards.
Tell you what, this offensive line doing a great job. Watch it. Everybody gets covered up. They get an orange jersey on a white jersey, and now Nathan Jeffrey has to make one guy miss. And he bounces to the outside, gets around DeMontre Hurst, and turns it into a big game. If you can give a running back a one-on-one with the defensive back, that's a win every time.
Jeffrey flirting with 100, and give Craighead, Watkins, Atkinson, Brown, and Nelson the front 5 credit for opening up some holes. Play action. Lamison, incomplete. Jordan Leslie running the post, but good coverage on the play by Oklahoma's secondary.
Yeah, You know, they run the play action to bring the safety down, and the middle of the field is wide open. You got to throw this ball more accurately. You can see Leslie looks like he doesn't really make a huge effort. He's wanting the penalty, but those are the kind of plays that these guys, UTEP, they've got to make tonight. When you've got a chance to make a play down the field, you've got to sell out. And that time, Jordan Leslie, to me, didn't look like he really sold out for the ball.
On second down, just into the game, Zay Williams on the carry. Modest gain of 3. Well, this kind of game, this kind of score certainly plays into the hands of the Miners. They don't want to get into a shootout with Oklahoma.
No, as long as you can keep it close at the end and give yourself a chance. Like Mike Price said, you know, every chance is a chance, and however small that chance is, you know, they got a shot to win. So they want to stay close here. The big thing for them is take care of the football and don't just give anything away.
Lamison out of the gun on 3rd and 7. And incomplete. Good coverage on the play again. Tony Jefferson, preseason all Big 12. Feeling comfortable playing free safety.
You know, Lamison is their guy. He's their quarterback, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Meager come back in, because if they have a quarterback that is more mobile, that can make some plays with his legs, especially with Oklahoma blitzing, you hit a crease, you hit a seam, they're playing man-to-man, there's some big plays to be made. I wouldn't be surprised to see a change at some point.
This could be perfect. They say no. Touchback. It just crept in. The return man over the line is what the call is. It's about as close as it could possibly be. It would have been a huge play.
But it's about the ball. Did the ball cross the plane of the end zone? And right there it did. Yeah. It did. It's not where the man is, it's where the ball is. He could be on that. He could be in the end zone.
Right.
As long as the ball doesn't go in, he can bat that thing back out.
When we come back, we'll see Kenny Stills. He had a 68-yard touchdown reception earlier. Can the young man provide some big plays here in the 3rd? 10-7 our score here in El Paso, Texas. Don't forget, next Saturday, college football is on Fox as Aaron Andrews, Eddie George, and Joey Harrington once again get you ready for kickoff with the Ford Fox College Saturday pregame show. Then Rex Burkhead and the 17th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers head to Los Angeles for an early season test against the UCLA Bruins, looking to pull off the upset. Coverage of Fox College football presented by Geico begins next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. Nebraska winner today over Southern Miss, 49-20. UCLA beating up on Rice earlier. Should be a good matchup. Jim Mora Jr., the new sheriff in town for UCLA. Sooners trying to win the battle on the line of scrimmage with that running game. Starting to gain a little bit of steam. That's Damian Williams.
Yeah, they are, but just a missed tackle by UTEP. They could have had that for a short gain. Now they're being aggressive, bringing those linebackers, playing closer outside. They're trying to mix it up.
Another quick play, and that's Stills. We talked about him heading to break. Kenny Stills. They need Kenny Stills to make big plays in this second half.
Yeah, they've got to get him the ball. That's the thing. The problem is, from the inside slot, he's been running a lot of deep crossers, and they haven't had enough time for Landry Jones to sit in the pocket and wait for him to uncover. But with UTEP's defensive backs playing off now, you can see they're giving those guys a lot of room. Now Landry just throwing the quick screens outside and getting 5-6 yards at a pop.
Hand off to Williams. Picks up a couple. Over on the UTEP sideline, it's Laura McKeeman. Laura.
Hey, thank you, Michael. And yes, we've got lots of injuries going on this UTEP sideline. We've got Michael Edwards down here, and he's a starting receiver for this UTEP team, and he's got a lot of cramping going on in his hamstrings. Now, this is the situation. We might see Nathan Jeffrey get even more carries in this game if the passing game is not able to go. Mike?
That'll be interesting. We talked about the fatigue factor, particularly for a team like UTEP. Obviously, Oklahoma has the advantage on depth as the Sooners keep it going on the ground. More of Damian Williams, 4 yards on that pickup.
Man, that's really the key, Mike, is depth. You know, the frontline guys have played well all night, but when those guys have to go out and take a blow, can the second and third team guys maintain that level of play? They're going to have to do that in this second half.
Jones takes his time on 3rd and 4 as he barks out the signals. Oklahoma just 2 of 10 on 3rd down. Jones unloads through the hands of the intended target. That's the freshman tight end, Taylor McNamara.
Again, very good coverage. Downfield, man-to-man. This time UTEP steps up. They play bump and run, so they take away the nice, easy, quick throw, and they make Landry have to hold the ball. And again, just not very accurate tonight. Taylor McNamara wide open. If he just throws that ball out in front of him, gives him a chance to make that play, it's a big game.
You know, of all the stats from Oklahoma a year ago, JC, the one that stuck out in my mind, Landry Jones had 15 picks last year. None of those were targeted to Ryan Broyles. That was his comfort zone. Still trying to find some comfort with some other wideouts tonight, as well as the tight ends. Return from the 4. Oh, nice move.
Got a wall.
Edwards all the way to the 31-yard line. Terrific return by Michael Edwards. Time for a Mazda game break. Let's check in with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen.
And let's check in on Mike Stoops' former team, Arizona, hosting Toledo. That's Kadeem Carey, Marcus.
Out of the spread offense, the read option is a favorite play, and as a running back, you got to make a couple of guys miss. He brings the Arizona crowd to their feet.
Yeah, Carey, 73 yards for the touchdown. Things going a little bit better for Rich Rodriguez right now down in Tucson, 17-14 in the 3rd quarter. Mike?
All right, thank you much. Arizona, of course, used to be led by Mike Stoops, now the defensive coordinator for the Sooners again.
See right here, Michael Edwards, watch the block coming up on 31 White right here, just blindsides him right there. Great comeback block. It allows Mike Edwards to get to the outside, get to the wall and up the field. But special teams, we talked about it at halftime, UTEP has dominated the special teams, and they come up with another big return, but it looks like it's going to come back though. Mike Edwards, you never want to catch the ball inside the 5, but he does a good job catching it and going. I'm not sure what the penalty was there. I didn't see a flag down, but the ball is all the way back on the 3-yard line.
Daniel Franklin, the senior out of Mount Airy, Georgia. Meanwhile, there is a penalty flag on the play, holding on the Miners. And a good sight there as Franklin gets up. One thing you know if you follow Oklahoma football, they recruit nationally. They've got players from the Southeast. They got players from the Northeast, the Midwest. They've got a bunch of players now from California, some good players out of that state. They're able to recruit them from everywhere.
Yeah, when you're a big-time program like Oklahoma, you can do those kind of things. And they've done a great job of it over the years.
Bob Stoops out to make sure his guy's okay.
But now here's the thing, though. UTEP backed way back on their own 3-yard line. They've got to be careful to not turn the ball over. But then when you punt it away, you give Oklahoma the ball in great field position. So they've got to try to put a couple of first downs together here, give themselves some room, but they can't be too aggressive here and get a turnover and give Oklahoma an easy score.
Off to the right side, makes one man miss and another. Jeffrey, foot race. Into Oklahoma territory and tripped up at the 30 by Aaron Colvin. What more can Nathan Jeffrey do tonight?
And that's that vision that we saw on the opening drive. Great vision and great feet to get backside. Watch the play start to his left, comes all the way back to the right, breaks one tackle, one-on-one with the defensive back, makes him miss, and now it's a foot race. A huge play for UTEP, great run by Nathan Jeffrey, but again, that vision and footwork to get all the way backside on that zone read is how he's able to do it.
Not much there on the pass play. Meanwhile, for Jeffrey, biggest play of the night, 71 yards. He had 166 yards all of last season. He has 165 tonight, and we've still got plenty of time in this one.
They really talked a lot about him and said he was going to be a big-time player. By the time this season was over, everyone in the country was going to know his name. And the way he's playing tonight and running the ball against this Oklahoma Sooner defense, you know, I think those coaches were right. Williams with a great second effort. Pick up a couple of hard-earned yards on the ground. You know, I want to go back to Jeffrey for just a moment, JC. There's a lot of All-Americans out there, obviously on the OU side. If you follow recruiting, you keep up with that, you'll see a bunch of guys with 4 or 5 stars next to him. It's the stories like Nathan Jeffrey, who gets overlooked by a lot of people, that make college football the great sport that it is.
No question, and UTEP gives him an opportunity and a chance. He comes in here, he works hard in practice, he learns, he's a good kid, smart kid, and gets an opportunity, he's going to take advantage of it.
3rd and 8. Lamison just tries to spin his way out of trouble. Can't do it. Now, field goal kicking. It has been an issue, and you heard Coach Price tell us right before the half he might have to change kickers.
Looks like he's done that.
Valadez, who normally is the kickoff man, and now he is going to line one up. This will be from 41. Do you believe it? The Miners have left 9 points on the board. 3 missed field goals.
They've been great in every phase of special teams except field goal kicking.
This one looked bad right from the start.
Looks like it's a good snap and a good hold, and he just mishits it. He just comes across the ball and just pulls it immediately. That ball never had a chance.
Well, now if you're Mike Price, you don't have a 3rd string kicker, I don't believe. You've got no confidence in the first 2. They might be nervous about trying another one. Pass caught in the flat by McTwire. Very talented freshman. Preseason All Big 12 Newcomer of the Year. When you listen to what Bob Stoops has to say, he doesn't normally get excited about young receivers. He raves about that kid. Another short pass play, this time to the right side, and Kenny Stills.
But again, you see the ball coming out of Landry Jones' hands immediately now. And UTEP is allowing that to a certain degree because they're playing off. Now they move their cornerbacks up in press coverage, so you take that away. And now you have to allow your rush to get there. So you can't just let Landry Jones just get rid of the ball, just an easy throw outside. You got to tighten up, and that's what they're doing on this down.
Clock ticking away, nearing 3 minutes left to go, and a great defensive play. A couple of orange jerseys, including Aubrey Alexius, number 48.
Yeah, they got to stay aggressive, and that's what Andre Patterson told us when we talked to him. He's got to convince himself to stay aggressive because that's when they're better. Now they play bump and run. They bring Alexius off the edge, and he makes a big tackle on the run.
Jones pressured and throws it short. He just tried to get rid of that football.
And you see the difference. You see the difference when they're aggressive and they play bump and run outside. It's a completely different look for Oklahoma, and now Landry Jones is holding the ball, and doesn't make a good read. It's bump and run, so he can't get rid of it right now. He's got happy feet because he knows the pressure is coming, and then the pressure gets to him right when he lets the ball go. Greg Watkins, number 44, coming off the edge.
3rd down has been a problem spot for both teams. Oklahoma 2 of 11.
Now you can see they're off again because it's 3rd and long. Keep the ball in front of you and come up and make the tackle.
3rd down, Jones flushed out and tries the sideline. Juggling effort, officials talking about it.
Out of bounds.
And they say no reception for Justin Brown.
This is what Landry Jones has had to do too much of, and throw on the run. See, Justin Brown just leaves his feet. He makes the catch, but he comes down out of bounds. He jumps, he's inbounds, he makes the grab right there, but his body, his feet, everything comes down out of bounds. Good call by the officials.
They've been spot on tonight. Play clock winding down.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Now, Oklahoma has fallen into that trap a couple of times tonight.
They really have. And they've been losing the special teams battle tonight all night, except for UTEP's field goal kicking. So don't be surprised to see UTEP go after this.
Edwards parked on the 20-yard line. From the 14. Reverses field, and Oklahoma sniffs it out. A loss on the return.
Nathan Jeffrey, he's had a big night. Started in the opening play of the game. You can see right here, just gashes him. But look at the footwork and look at the vision. Dude does a great job, one cut and go in that zone read scheme. And everybody on Oklahoma knows he's going to get the ball too, because the quarterback's not a threat. Jumps over guys, he runs with power. Look at this, breaks a tackle, shakes a guy, and then shows some speed and versatility to get down the field on a huge game.
After a good punt by way, Lamison launching a deep ball in and out of the hands of the intended target. A good-looking play set up for Jordan Leslie, who had one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, watch him give him a double move, a little stutter, and then he just goes. A little stutter right there, and he's got to make this play. This ball is thrown out there right in where you want. He's got 2 hands on it, and that's the second one. We saw Jordan Leslie drop one in the first half. Now in the second half, he drops another potential huge play for UTEP.
You can't throw it any better than Nick Lamison did on that play. And second down, big hole up the middle. Jeffrey again. 12 more yards for Nathan Jeffrey.
He is the perfect back to run the zone read. Everybody gets a hat on a hat, and look at him. He jumps backside and then jumps back to his left and explodes through the hole. When you got a guy that's that quick, has that great a footwork, when you run that zone read scheme where he can just pick and choose a hole, he's awfully tough to stop. Gotta hurry.
A penalty flag. The play clock was ticking down in the hurry.
False start. Number 3, the offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Second time Jim Jones has done that. Back down to the field with Laura.
Hey, thanks, Mike. And yes, Nathan Jeffrey has been dealing with a right hip cramp all night. He keeps working it out, and his teammates keep asking him if he's okay. He says, yeah, I'm ready to go back out there. I have to be honest with you, this guy's been standing up all night. I haven't seen him lay down or sit down until now. So I think the cramping is catching up with him, but we may still see him in this game.
Well, the MVP right now might be the guy working on that leg of one Nathan Jeffrey. Nothing doing for Dowell. Make that Williams on the carry. Yeah, you see him trying to rub it out. You know what that's like, JC?
Yeah, you play in these warm conditions and all the running and cutting that he's been doing, you lose a lot of fluids. You just got to keep pumping those fluids and hope they get in your system. But once you start cramping, it's tough to get them stopped.
Lamison fires on 2nd and 15 and completes it to Craig Wenrick, the tight end. They've got 3 of them they feel confident in. Might be the final play of the 3rd quarter. It's up to UTEP. And they seem to be content. Down just 3 points against the number 4 team in the country. Will Nathan Jeffrey be able to come back into this game? That'll be a big question. And will the Miners be able to connect on a field goal? Oklahoma up 10-7. You're watching Fox College Football. Ten to 7 our score. The Sooners up by 3 as we get ready for the start of the 4th quarter. Here is our Coors Light freeze cam, and it's the big play for the Miners in the 1st quarter. There's the block of the punt by Richard Spencer. Here's the return by Nathan Jeffrey, who has done a little bit of everything tonight. That gave the Miners a 7-0 lead. They have had their chances. They have missed 3 field goals. Special teams might be the thing that determines the outcome of this game.
Is that mustard on the sideline? I've never heard of mustard for cramps, or I'm sure nobody's eating hot dogs down there, but I don't know if I've ever seen mustard on the sideline at the trainer's booth before.
It's the good stuff too.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, that's not the bargain mustard. That's brand name stuff right down there. Passing yards, well, the Sooners have dominated that category, but I think this number will surprise many. The Miners more than doubling up Oklahoma on the ground. Most of that damage, of course, done by Nathan Jeffrey, who's battling cramps. Lamison crossing route. First down to the 35-yard line is Eric Tomlinson, the tight end.
And how about UTEP giving Oklahoma some of their own medicine? Get rid of the ball quickly. Oklahoma comes with pressure. They void the middle of the field, and now Tomlinson just runs right where the void is, and it's a quick, easy throw for Lamison.
First completion since the 1st quarter. On play action. Lamison throws it up for grabs and almost picked off. Boy, Javon Harris, JC, you've talked about it. He's been very dangerous with the football.
Yeah, he's been very lucky tonight. He can't afford to continue to do that because one of those balls are going to be picked off, and a couple of them should have already been picked off. That was one of the things that when we spoke to him yesterday, he said that he wanted to avoid, didn't want to do is try to force the football, and he's done that way too much tonight.
When you're talking about Lamison, you're talking about a winner, won 2 national titles in junior college. Handoff. 2nd effort, 3rd effort. Finally, Williams goes down after he squeezes out a couple.
But you see the difference there between Zay Williams running that zone read and Nathan Jeffrey. Williams a little unsure, bouncing around a little bit too much. Looked like he had a crease, but didn't take it. Nathan Jeffrey, he makes one quick decision and then he goes with it. And that's the difference between how these two guys are running the same exact play tonight.
We saw the stat earlier, neither team very good on 3rd down tonight. This is 3rd and 7. And low and outside, intended for Leslie. R.J. Washington got a good push. Number 11. They hope that he has a career year. He's got all kinds of talent. They project him as an outside linebacker at the next level, playing defensive end for Oklahoma.
Yeah, only 256 pounds, had 5 sacks last year. Like you said, a world of talent. They just need to see him do it down in and down out. He's got his opportunity now this year. They lost 2 all Big 12 defensive ends to the NFL last year, and now R.J. Washington's got to step up, and it's his turn.
It barely gets a fake. And Oklahoma reads it and stops it well shy of the first down. Wow, talk about rolling the dice. You're Mike Price, and you've just given Oklahoma terrific field position.
Yeah, they were going to be aggressive. They said that they were going to take some chances, but I don't know if that was the right time. You're only down 10-7. Kick that ball away. Your defense is playing well. Not sure what they were looking for because they don't have numbers over there. And it's just not even close. I mean, you can see there's 5 guys from Oklahoma over here, and there's really only 4 blockers. And so there's going to be an unblocked Oklahoma defender, and really no chance for that play to work.
Josh Bell carried it, but really had no room to run. Now the Sooners in business at the 41 of the Miners. Is this another delay?
Timeout, Oklahoma. Their first of the half.
They just got the timeout with less than a second. Bob Stoops shaking his head. He can't believe it. Well, the Sooners have had plenty of emotion tonight. Right now, plenty of emotion trying to hold on to this 3-point lead with 13:32 to go. Back with you from beautiful El Paso, Texas, the Sun Bowl on a Saturday night. 4th-ranked Oklahoma taking on UTEP. Mike Morgan alongside J.C. Pearson, Laura McKeeman down on the sideline. It has been anything but what we expected. Surprisingly, in a lot of ways, UTEP has dominated this game. They could easily be up. They missed 3 field goals. They just attempted a fake punt. And now the Sooners have terrific field position.
Yeah, watch for the quick throw to Stills in the slot. He's uncovered. Instead, they go the other way.
And a pretty good cushion as well for McGuire, who puts it on the carpet.
Yeah, that's been another issue for Oklahoma. They put the ball on the ground at least 3 times tonight, and they've been lucky that all 3 times the ball is rolled out of bounds. McGuire here just fighting. Ball gets punched out. They get lucky again with the ball rolling out of bounds. I think that's about 3 times that's happened for Oklahoma tonight.
It's a great play by Richard Spencer, who blocked the punt to strip that ball away. Miners showing blitz. They peel back. Another close play near the sideline, and they will give him the catch. McGuire for 10.
Much better looking throw, much better looking route, much better timing on that route between Landry Jones and McGuire.
And now we get another look, the second look of the night at the Belldozer formation. It's 3rd and inches. Bell, this time he goes straight ahead, and that is the key to success for number 10. We mentioned it. I mean, if you're 6'6", 250, JC, why not go up the gut?
Yeah, especially behind this big offensive line, and you only need 6 inches or a yard. You got 2 lead blockers. Just go straight ahead. Tough to stop that.
A great surge by Gabe Icard, the former guard, now the starting center, first team all Big 12. That young man could be the future at quarterback for the Sooners. Jones back in on first down. Hand off left side, and again, a nice job by that UTEP front 4. Dominique Whaley, not much room.
Josh Feely comes up from that linebacker spot. You know, this defensive line is doing a good job at the point of attack, not getting blown off the ball, and then allowing those linebackers to flow down the line of scrimmage and make plays unblocked. If you can get those offensive linemen onto those linebackers, it makes it a lot tougher, and that's what UTEP offensively has been able to do to Oklahoma.
This is Whaley. Good second effort by Dominique Whaley. 7 yards on that pickup. And now another player down, and you wonder, JC, the cramping. It is week 1. There is no preseason. in college football. Yeah, these guys work hard in practice, but this is the first game action.
Oh yeah, it's tough. And for UTEP, it's even tougher because their depth is not as deep as Oklahoma. So now, we talked about it earlier, now their second team, third team guys have got to come in and try to maintain the high level of play that the starters played at.
That's a lot of beef. Going to the sideline, Marcus Bagley, one of the anchors in the middle. Bagley along with Reed. By the way, we got confirmation from Laura. That mustard, that wasn't for show or for eating purposes. They actually are rubbing that on Nathan Jeffrey to try to get him back in the game.
About that, I've never heard that one before. Mustard works for cramps.
Blake Bell back in. This time it's 3rd and 2. Bell lowers the shoulders, staggers forward, and he should have a first down.
Nothing fancy here for Oklahoma, and they've really worked on throwing the ball with Blake Bell out of this formation some, because really all he did last year was run out of it. But right now, no, they don't want to get fancy, they don't want to get cute, they're just trying to be physical, run the ball, use up a lot of clock and get some points.
Couple big plays on this drive for Bell in short yardage. Jones back in, 1st and 10. Under 11 minutes to play, the Sooners up by just a field goal. Jones looking toward the end zone. Touchdown Sooners. Brandon Green.
Finally, Landry Jones throws the ball. That's the best ball he's thrown tonight. Brandon Green comes down. He's got man-to-man. He works to the outside, and Landry Jones that time puts it right on the money.
Honeycutt on for the extra point. And the sophomore delivers. 10:41 remaining in this one. The Sooners with their largest lead of the game, 10 points, as Landry Jones finds Green, the tight end. Sooners up by 10. You saw the touchdown, JC. What led up to it?
Yeah, I mean, you have to go back to that fake punt to start, which gave Oklahoma great field position. You see the numbers aren't there on the right. They try to fake it on 4th and long. They get stopped. They get great field position for Oklahoma. They come out and they run the ball. Dominic Whaley right here. The Belldozer, Blake Bell comes in. He converts a couple of 3rd downs, and then they get everybody sucked up, and Landry Jones finally connects down the field to Brandon Green for the touchdown, but it was all set up by that gamble in special teams for UTEP.
And the Sooners make them pay with a 6-play drive for 23 yards, a little over 3 minutes off the clock, culminated by that 18-yard touchdown hookup. So 2 touchdown passes in the game now for Landry Jones. And if you're UTEP, JC, what are we looking for out of the offense? Do they change what they've been doing tonight?
Well, I mean, they are who they are, and you know, they're going to come in and do what they want to do. They're going to take some shots, but they're a running football team first, and you know, I don't think they can get real aggressive here. And you know, they came in and they played well. Even though if they don't win this game, if they keep it close, I think it's a moral victory for them.
5 yards deep into the end zone. Miners will take it out, and it's not a good choice for Michael Edwards.
You know, see right here, there's Brandon Green in the slot, uncovered right now, and then now they're going to play man with the linebacker. But look at the linebacker stay inside. He stays inside and gives him all the room to the outside with no help. Brandon Green breaks out. Landry Jones throws it to the outside. He's got to jump outside because he's got a safety right in the middle of the field. So if he runs the post, the safety help is right there. You got to understand where your help is when you're playing man coverage.
Still no Jeffrey on the field as a penalty flag falls.
illegal formation, more than 5 in the backfield, on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It was the first carry of the game for Golden, and not enough men on the line of scrimmage for the Miners. Again, overall, from a penalty standpoint, a well-played game, particularly for week 1, which generally is the sloppiest.
You're right, and you know, I go back to my comment about a moral victory. I know there are no moral victories, but for them mentally to play Oklahoma, the #4 team in the country like this, is a huge boost for them going forward.
Drop ball here by Malcolm Trail. Well, I'm with you, and you know, one of the things Mike Price told us, obviously this is an out-of-conference game. They've got a brutal out-of-conference schedule, probably the most difficult in Conference USA. Their season, in a lot of ways, starts with East Carolina, and they want to be a powerhouse in Conference USA. He's led them to 3 bowl games. He wants a conference title.
And I tell you what, the way that they look tonight, I don't see why they can't be. I watched Southern Miss against Nebraska. Not very impressive. They've got some quarterback issues. Houston's replacing Case Keenum, so I mean, UTEP, they look very good tonight.
Backup quarterback in Carson Meager. A short completion. Pick up a 4 to Malcolm Trail. A lot of the backups right now in on offense, and you wonder if, again, that fatigue factor. We thank you for joining us here on a nightcap special here from El Paso. Mike Morgan alongside J.C. Pearson. This has been a lot closer than people would have expected. Still a 10-point game. A 3rd down and 6 now for the Miners. Throws that one away. Great coverage by the Sooners. Nobody open.
That's a smart play by Meager. But you know where this offense really turned? When Nathan Jeffrey went out of the game with those cramps. Because now they have no running game. And you can see how disappointed and upset he is. He is upset over there that he can't get back in this ball game because he was this offense. And with him being able to run and the threat of his run opened some things up in the passing game. But they haven't been the same with him out.
Fair catch at the 40. And again, good field position for Oklahoma. With 9:16 on the clock. The Sooners up 10 and with the football. Landry Jones will march onto the field when we return. Fox College Football is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. It is a beautiful night in El Paso, Texas. There could be a major party going on tonight if somehow UTEP can come back now from a 10-point deficit. The Miners, if you're just joining us now, actually led this game 7-0. Had several opportunities to extend the lead. Had 3 field goals, all in makeable range, all 3 wide. And now the Sooners, a touchdown on the last possession, and all the momentum in this game here. Damian Williams on another carry. Picks up 4. But you can't say enough about the effort by Nathan Jeffrey tonight for UTEP. 21 carries, 177 yards. And it just doesn't look good for any chance to get back in this game right now.
Played special teams, had the scoop and score on the blocked punt, so he did everything he could do tonight.
Oklahoma passing game heating up now in the last couple of drives. Back to the ground, big hole up the middle. And second effort, he's not down, he's still going. And finally, Damian Williams goes to the turf. A terrific effort to keep that knee just elevated enough to extend the play.
And I think you're just seeing a product of their depth. Guys fresher on Oklahoma's team. UTEP, they've got a lot of guys cramping up. A lot of guys have played a lot of plays. They don't have the same depth, the quality of depth. So I think now you're just starting to see Oklahoma start to impose their size and their physicality on them. And that's why they're just running the ball so much.
About 4 for Williams. this is a guy they're actually excited about, Damian Williams. We've talked a lot about Whaley. We've seen plenty of Brennan Clay as we have another player down on the field. Damian Williams was a junior college first-team All-American. They believe he's really coming along going into week 1. We'll tell you about the injury and see more of the Oklahoma offense when we return as that man Nathan Jeffrey, just a spectator at this point. While we were away, Aubrey Alexius helped off the field, the latest injured player in this ball game, as we look at our Brown Hand Center great hands of the game.
Yeah, they've used Kenny Stills in a number of ways tonight, and here's the big one. 68-yard touchdown pass, but he's worked out of the slot. They've used him for work in the middle of the field. Then they run him on some out routes. They've thrown quick screens to him to try to get the ball quickly to him. And, you know, they've done a number of different things to try to get him involved. They need to get him the ball more. He's only got 6 catches tonight. He's done a little bit of everything in terms of catching the ball for Oklahoma.
One thing they keep saying about Kenny Stills, he's matured a lot. The talent's there, but now he's a guy that they think can be a leader, help some of these other younger receivers, and just a guy that's playing the role of a professional right now.
Yeah, and he's more comfortable in the slot. He's worked on it all spring and summer. Didn't have a chance to work on it last year and just kind of got thrown in there. But now he feels comfortable there. And again, I think he's going to have a huge year for Oklahoma before it's all said and done.
Now, Oklahoma's had some problems.
False start. Number 4, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Just as we were singing his praises.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes that actually times out well. Not in that particular case.
Right. But they've had trouble all night offensively. You know, with penalties, drop passes, you know,
delay of games.
They just have not been crisp tonight.
Out of the gun, draw play on 2nd and 12. And that'll set up 3rd down and long, maybe 3 or so for Damian Williams. Another player down. You hope it's cramps. You don't want it to be anything more serious. We've seen several players have to go to the sideline with cramps.
And you know, another thing too that might be a thought is, remember, they changed their practice routine. They practice early in the morning now to get out of the heat. And maybe you're seeing the product of that by not working in the heat so much that they have here, that, you know, now guys are losing a lot of fluids. They're cramping up because we're not really seeing that from the Oklahoma players.
Right.
And so that may be something that Coach Price may have to reevaluate and not practice so early in the morning, but sometimes you got to get out in the elements.
I think the solution is obvious. We've got to order more mustard, maybe a little Grey Poupon in there.
Yeah, something, whatever it is, drink it, rub it. Yeah, and they're grabbing it, but I don't know.
On 3rd down and 9. Jones pummeled behind the line of scrimmage by Little. DeAndre Little, the sophomore.
And then, again, Landry Jones holds this ball too long. Trey McGuire is wide open running the out, but he doesn't really trust him. So he wants to make sure, and watch, the ball should be gone right now, but he holds it a split second longer, and then he takes his eyes off of the receiver and looks at the rush. Right there, you see Kenny Stills also coming open down the field. Landry Jones has got to trust his guys, his receivers, and let that ball go.
Bobbled on the return, and a nice job to at least pounce on it. And he took a hit in the process. Well, next Sunday, the regular season begins, finally, with a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, Robert Griffin III of the Redskins take on Drew Brees and the Saints. or Michael Vick leads the Eagles against the Browns. Then on America's Game of the Week, the 49ers battle Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Coverage begins next Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check your local listings. That's when you know you've reached utopia, when college football is on Saturday and we've got the NFL on Sunday.
49ers Packers right off the bat. Two of the best teams in the NFC. We're going to see what they're about early.
Michael Edwards, he's been rather quiet tonight. They've kept him in check. Top receiver for Lamison. Conservative play calling here. Down 10, 5.5 to go. That's Golden. Let's send it back down to the field with Laura.
Thanks, Mike. Nathan Jeffrey has not been given any word over whether or not he's going back in this game, but he just applied some cream to his hip and looks like he's put his helmet back on. He's been running around down here trying to make some cuts, see if he can get that mobility back. In other news, they've had to go to a second bottle of mustard down here on the UTEP sideline because they've run out of their original bottle. Mike?
Now my question is, are they rubbing the mustard on or are they eating the mustard? You know, I'm new to that one, so I'm not really sure what they're doing with it.
Now, when you broke down your keys to the game, JC, was number 17 or so bring extra mustard?
I've not seen that one before, but I'm going to try to add that one. And I cramp up from time to time myself. Yeah, I need to figure out what's going on with that. I may need some more mustard in my body.
Bring it up in the booth. You never know. You folks don't know this. JC's been playing hurt all week.
All week, all few weeks.
All month.
Man.
A nice job by you playing hurt. And a whole lot of physical and perhaps mental anguish as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but hey, got a good ball game here.
3rd and long. Caught at the 20. Now that's going to be 3 yards shy. You're under 5 minutes. You're down 10. What do you think?
I think, first of all, the receiver has got to get deep enough to get a first down. That's a mental error on Jefferson, or Hamilton rather. He's got to get deep enough so that if he catches that ball, it's a first down. You can't come up short when you're wide open like that.
Mike Price going to send his punter out there, the All-American Ian Campbell. Another good bounce. Hauled in at the 25. And Brown sent out of bounds at the 30. Well, for Oklahoma, you know, these first 2 ball games were supposed to be rather easy. It obviously has not been easy tonight. They hope it'll be against the Rattlers of Florida A&M. Then a big one right there in the 3rd game, 22nd ranked Kansas State and Colin Klein, followed up by Texas Tech, the Red River Shootout, Kansas, Notre Dame, a great out-of-conference battle, Iowa State, and Baylor.
And they've got to get some things straightened out, especially offensively. Defensively, they gave up some yards, but not a lot of points, and that's really the key there. You know, special teams, they've got to fix and correct a number of things. So they've got some work to do if they're going to contend for the national championship.
From the 31. Again between the tackles, Damian Williams.
Nothing fancy anymore from Oklahoma. They just want this clock to continue to run and get out of here and get back to Norman and make some corrections. So don't expect to see them do too much more offensively.
I'll be curious to see in the next ball game how Dominique Whaley looks. You know, still coming off a major injury from last year. You know, you have an ankle injury like that, you battle back, you come out. He did not look like the same guy we saw last year.
Just the quickness and the explosion, and they've got to find that in their running game.
Behind right tackle, huge hole. Foot race, 1 man to beat. 30. Williams at the 10. 5. Touchdown.
Well, they just found him. We were just talking about how they've got to find some explosion in their running game. And then how about this very next play? Again, I think I think UTEP's defense, they've just worn down physically. They played a tough ball game. Now Oklahoma just imposing their will physically on them.
65 yards for Damian Williams. And Honeycutt knocks it through.
Going to see Williams, and he's fresher than that UTEP defense. So he's going to come at him full speed. You see just an off tackle play, and then look at the blocks. A hat on a hat here, and look at the huge lane that he has to run through. And then now it's just speed. Now he makes a guy miss down the field right here, good cutback, and it's all speed. And remember, he hasn't played a whole lot tonight, so he's fresh, he's ready to go, he's got some speed to him, and this UTEP defense just doesn't have enough to catch him.
Well, a quick scoring drive for Oklahoma, and they can strike fast. Normally it's the heavy firepower in the passing game. This time 2 plays, 69 yards, and a huge run for Damian Williams, who has people excited back in Norman. First team junior college All-American from San Diego, California. And that has taken a lot of wind out of the sails of this Miners crowd, which has been very animated since before the opening kickoff. Williams from the 1. Loose football. A scrum near the 7. And UTEP gets it back.
And you're starting just to see the effects of fatigue on this UTEP team. You saw defensively, you start to lapse, and then now you try to return a ball, and mentally you're not as sharp as you were. So now the ball gets away from you, you get it away from your body, and now it gets punched out.
Cass Everett, one of the nickelbacks on the roster, just pops that one loose. Anderson running for his life and is pummeled at the 3. Well, for the Miners, as we mentioned, the most difficult out-of-conference schedule in Conference USA. Next up, an SEC team on the road in Ole Miss. Then New Mexico State, then at Wisconsin. Finally, they kick into conference play with East Carolina. Huge game for this program. Then SMU at Tulsa will not be easy. Tulane at Houston, another team that I think, even without Case Keenum, would put together a good season. They've got a new coach, a new quarterback. They still have a lot of athletes. And right now, UTEP just looks like a tired football team out there.
Yeah, but they fought well. And I think they're going to go back and they're going to look at this video and they're going to take a lot of positives away from this. If nothing else, just confidence-wise. Even though it's 24-7 now, for them, they're going to look at it and say, we missed 3 field goals, we moved the ball, defensively played well.
Lamison tries one deep, and he just has not been on target for most of the night. Bunting it back onto the field for UTEP. That man, Mike Price, I think he'll have a lot of positive things to say to his team after this ball game. And when you think about Mike Price, this is a guy that put Washington State on the map. Rose Bowls, Pac-10 championships back in '97 and '01. The short stint at Alabama, of course, and that led eventually to him arriving here in El Paso. But he's excited about this program. The fans are excited about the job that he has done.
And he thinks this is the best team that they've had thus far. And, when you look at the way they played tonight, you got to think that they're going to be very competitive in conference play.
Well, next Saturday, it's another full day of college football action, beginning with Tulane taking on Tulsa right here on FSN, or Miami battles 22nd ranked Kansas State on FX. Then Rice takes on Kansas here on FSN, and 12th-ranked Wisconsin heads to Corvallis for an early season showdown against the Beavers of Oregon State on FX. Our coverage of college football continues next Saturday on FSN and FX. Alongside J.C. Pearson, Mike Morgan with you here in El Paso, Texas. The story early on was all UTEP, what they were doing to the Sooners. A close game in the first half. They led it 7-0. But finally, Oklahoma imposing its will on the Miners here in this fourth quarter as Brennan Clay takes a couple of defenders with him, 5 hard yards.
Yeah, but the problem with that, with Brennan Clay, you want to stay in bounds. You want to keep the clock moving. You don't want to stop the clock here. You know, they want to try to get out of this ball game. So yes, you want to try to get all the yards you can get, but you got to be smart too. Stay in bounds and keep that clock moving.
Focus is going to be on that man all season long, Landry Jones, who came back for his senior year, turned down the NFL, recently married. His longtime girlfriend, Whitney Hand, who's a star point guard on the women's basketball team. And Landry Jones, it's no secret why he came back. He wants to win a national title. A lot of people think Oklahoma has the talent to do it. We'll see if this team progresses as time moves on.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen a lot of the teams in the top 10 this weekend score a lot of points, you know, so they're going to be criticized quite a bit, but they've got another game next week to make corrections, and you can never count Oklahoma out with that man right there, Bob Stoops.
And that man, Bob Stoops, you know, all the guy does is win a lot of ball games, about 10 a year. He's won a national championship, but the expectations are so high as Blake Bell breaks free into the secondary and down inside the 20-yard line. Drew Thomas might have saved the touchdown.
Again, you stay fresh, you bring in fresh players, fresh legs, and running against that exhausted UTEP defense. You know, they're just at a different speed now.
Sooners don't have to run another play, and that'll likely do it for Oklahoma. They got everything they could possibly ask for at a UTEP. A heck of a battle from Mike Price and his Miners squad. But in the second half, too much Landry Jones. Bob Stoops and Mike Price shaking hands near midfield. UTEP will be a force in Conference USA, and Oklahoma will get ready for the Big 12 play. In the second half, Oklahoma coming up with the big plays.
Yeah, Landry Jones throws a great ball here to Brandon Green, one of the best balls that he threw all night. And then how about Williams right here? Comes in with the fresh legs, just gets off the edge, and then it's speed from there. 2 huge plays for Oklahoma. Allowed them to open it up.
Laura McKeemum standing by with head coach Bob Stoops.
Coach, this one much closer than you would have liked it, but you got the win. And what started working for you in the fourth quarter? What improvements do you need to make?
Well, we need to make a lot of improvements, obviously. Just very inconsistent, in particular offensively. Just, you know, in our passing game, some of our protections, all of that. We ran the ball better in the second half, but you know, defense was really, you know, pretty good. We gave up a few runs that we need to clean up. And obviously then the couple special team miscues are pretty rotten.
Landry Jones seemed to make some adjustments at the half, getting the ball out of his hands quicker. Do you think he started trusting in those receivers a little more? Was that something that you discussed at halftime?
Yeah, you know, we did, and I thought it wouldn't have taken this amount of time. I thought we'd have been a little sharper. You know, maybe it's just the first time out here with the whole new group, because in practice, it's, you know, things are moving along a little better. So we got a lot of work to do to sharpen it up.
All right, Coach, wish you the best of luck and congratulations tonight.
All right, Laura, thank you.
All right,
Mike?
Thank you very much, Laura. J.C. Pearson, some final thoughts.
Well, I think he summed it up for OU right there in a nutshell, the things that they've got to work on. And I think if you're UTEP, you know, you feel good about this game and move forward. They've got a tough game coming up next week, but I think both teams still have work to do.
Well, that's it for the Sun Bowl with a final score 24-7. The Sooners win it. Be sure to join us tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for a special edition of Fox College Football as SMU battles Baylor. For J.C. Pearson and Laura McKeeman, this is Mike Morgan saying so long. You've been watching Fox College Football.